flip it over to whatever the next page is.
Yeah.
I don't really like that book. I'd rather have a side-by-side book. Sometimes, our top of the order is really good. They didn't do too well today.
They didn't play.
Oh, they didn't. And Izzy can't catch that.
Oh yeah, Izzy's just a running left.
He starts in left, but
Oh yeah, I mean like
yeah.
he's a defender and
Don't pick on just pinch runners. That's what he used to do.
Mm-hmm.
no, I was asking like just a runner.
Yeah.
He doesn't hit. I'm not gonna cap though. Who is running?
See, when it gets a little tighter, Scott, how are you gonna do it?
Oh yeah, I'm gonna zoom in.
Are you gonna get the pitcher? Occasionally get the pitcher and the batter at the same time.
That's what I'm doing.
Okay.
Be like
Or just focus in on the batter.
be like something like this. Sometimes you know. I mean,
What's the closest as you can go in on the batter?
the batter.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah, that's not bad.
And then follow the ball. Sometimes I can go in on a pitcher or whatever. So when should I like open it?
Just be creative. I mean, just whenever you want, just so it doesn't get stale and boring. Kind of like me. Yeah.
Sure. I got
He's
the old.
you are big, but I can still throw you off the side, and that is a long
I don't
shot.
think you can throw me without me like flipping you.
Well,
And then
see what I'll do.
countering you.
Yeah, I'm fat. You can't pick me up.
Anyway, how you doing, bud?
Well, okay, I'm not fat.
Exactly.
So they only had last names on there.
Okay,
Is that
that's
right?
fine. That's fine. Yeah.
So like, with this, you're gonna be doing most of the talking. Then like, I kind of like, what do you really want me to do?
You listen to what James does at first, and then just kind of mimic that.
Am I tripping or is this field bigger?
Now, ours is actually 347 down the line.
347.
Yeah, it's 385 in center, isn't it?
375.
I mean our field.
Oh, ours? Yeah, I think it's 385.
Yeah.
Ours is ginormous.
Yeah,
Well, it used to be a
ours
minor
is like
league.
340 down. It's bigger than the Brave Stadium down the left field line. You'll see that this summer. Shall we get it? Use another stool here?
I mean, it did used to be a minor league stadium.
Yeah, it did.
What? Oakers?
Yeah.
Do you want me to just like let him talk the first inning or two?
You can sit here right with us. Yeah, yeah, and you can keep the book too.
Okay.
Yeah, and then the way we'll do it
Hey,
is
I'm feeling like moving this over a little bit so I can like sit down and like also keep track of the score.
okay. You need that still.
I'm gonna sit by my favorite uncle.
Yeah, yeah. Favorite uncle. Well, that's better than grandfather, I guess.
I can also just see it on here.
Yeah, or you can turn it. Just remember, let's test it here. Turn it and see if you're going to get color bars at all.
Sean, did you eat all the white ones?
Like 2 weeks ago. I don't think I'm gonna have any color bars. I don't need to turn it that far, but
Okay. Well, you can get a shot of Campbell County at some point.
Joey, here it is. The positive of doing baseball. It is
like at the end of like
slower
an inning.
pace, so
What's
you don't
that?
have
Like
to
at the
feel
end of the
rushed
inning.
to save and things.
Yeah, yeah. Just be creative. Just
Oh, I know what I want to do.
Like especially like because he'll interrupt you if they're pitching and something happens.
And I'll get mad. I'll go. Ksh.
No, well, I was telling him it's a much slower pace, so you can actually talk more, and you don't have to like spit it out real quick.
Shall we go ahead and start, or shall we? You want to? You can read the starting lineups down.
Okay.
You have the positions. You know the positions and everything, right?
Yes, but I'm not 100%.
Short first, short pitcher first, DH left, center, third, right, catcher, second base.
Left, center,
ready? James, you ready? Hello again, everybody. David Clary along with James Branson, Joey Weston, and Vashon Knowles here at Campbell County High School. Getting set for another night of Oak Ridge High School baseball on the road, on the roof, at the press box at Campbell County High School. It's a chilly night, but a beautiful night for baseball, James.
Yeah, David, I was just thinking, I don't know if I've ever broadcasted a baseball game from the roof of a football stadium before, but should be interesting to do. Got a nice little view here, backdrop behind the mountains here, and looking for a good night from the Oak Ridge side.
Looking forward to this ball game. The Wildcats come in with a 3-0 record. They have a season sweep of the Anderson County Mavericks. They won the first game 5-1. Then they beat them 14-4 at Anderson County High School. And then just this last week, Wildcats take on Coalfield in a very exciting ball game. Coalfield, a state tournament team from a year ago, and one of the teams to beat in the state of Tennessee, honestly. And Oak Ridge won that game 6-4. This is our first district ball game of the year. The Wildcats and Campbell County Cougars traditionally play early in the season. And one thing that you have to admit is in past years, Campbell County has not been the best team in our district. In fact, they have sat close to the bottom. But as of late, Campbell County has gotten an infusion of some players. They've got a new coaching staff that's willing to stay for a long period of time. And hopefully they're going to make some strides because this is a proud community up here, and I look forward to them being competitive. And hopefully we'll win the ball game tonight if you're an Oak Ridge fan, but hopefully they'll at least be competitive.
Yeah, and you would absolutely think that, with what the Price twins have been able to do with the football team, and Campbell County has always traditionally had really competitive basketball teams. Well, so it's not like they don't have athletes or guys that can play. And anytime that our district's really strong, obviously Powell's always been at the top for a while. Carnes has been up there as well. And the past couple years, Oak Ridge has really surprised a lot of people in their play the past couple seasons. So having a really strong district hopefully just prepares you to go far in the postseason as well.
Former Oak Ridge baseball player Joey Weston has joined us here. Joey, you played for Coach Free. What's it like playing for Coach Free? He's a very intense guy in practice. What was it like playing for him?
Yeah, that's right, David. Coach Free, he came into the program a couple years ago, and I feel like he's really turned it around in practices. I mean, it's pretty intense. There's a lot of running. You're getting in shape. You're going to be practicing a lot with him. He really pushes you to your limits in practice.
Yeah, that's one thing that I was going to talk about. Just watching him in practice, I mean, he stays on those guys constantly. But, like Coach Green on the basketball side of things, he wouldn't do it if he didn't care about you. I'm sure Coach Branson and your coaching staff, as Sean, stays on you to make you better. But, he's a good coach, and we've had some pretty good success here as of late since he's been here.
Yeah, I mean, he's super passionate about his players, the game. He's come from a long history of baseball, and, I think he's really passionate to turn this program around and make this a really good team.
I think we have a delay here waiting for the umpires. I think that might be the case. Both teams have already taken their infield and outfield practice. Joey, while you have the opportunity, why don't you run down the starting lineups in the ballgame tonight?
All right, starting off for Oak Ridge, Caden Black's going to be leading him off. He's playing shortstop tonight. On the mound, Jacob Franklin. Third base, we have Mikey Teasley, and Tyler Pickens is going to be playing first base, hitting third. Eddie Tan's going to be DHing for Izzy Mitchell, who's out in left field. Richie Ferreira is going to be batting number 5. He's going to be in center field. Mikey Teasley playing third base tonight. He's going to be hitting 6th. And Cam Welch out in right field. Kai Welch catching for Jacob Franklin tonight, and playing second base, Jason Slay.
And for the Campbell County Cougars?
For the Cougars, starting off, Ferguson. He's going to be catching tonight. Dabney is going to be at second base. Hazelwood's going to be playing first. McKillop's going to be designated hitting. And Goins is going to be pitching tonight on the mound. Hensley's going to be at shortstop. Smitty in left field. Ford in right field. And Silcox in center field.
Appreciate that as we wait for the umpires to show up here. As we talked about, we're at Campbell County High School. We're on our YouTube channel, Prep Radio, and we're live here. You know, have you ever been to a ball game, James, where we've waited for the officials?
I was just thinking about that as well, and we've had a few umpires. Generally, I think baseball is a sport where, it may not be necessary to show up as early as football or basketball games. You can kind of just walk out on the field there and be ready to go. So I've seen it a few times, but not this close to game time, David.
We've been up here many times to watch. Have I ever told you, James, the story about Todd Helton when we were up here several years ago?
Not more than 5 times today.
Let me tell you a little story about Todd Helton. Everybody remembers him. He was a standout at Central, not only at the first base and pitcher. He was also a standout quarterback for the Central Bobcats. Took them all the way to the state semifinals. Was Mr. Football in football, but and played I guess for the Tennessee Vols at quarterback, and actually started one game, and I think it was the Alabama game. I think maybe he got hurt. And he decided, my bread is buttered with baseball, so he elected not to continue his Tennessee football career, went to baseball, and had what I think should be a Hall of Fame career at the Colorado Rockies. Turn the camera here. There's a house here out in right center field. We were playing a district tournament game here 100 years ago, and I saw him hit a ball on top of that porch in that house. And that is well beyond the fence here at Campbell County High School. And James, you're old enough to remember Todd Helton as a great home run hitter, about 500 home runs for the Rockies.
Absolutely, and probably one of the more consistent hitters in the previous 15, 20 years of Major League Baseball. Just constantly around 300, and you're talking about Todd Helton. That 91 team for Central was loaded because they also had another major leaguer, Bubba Trammell, and there was another guy I think that played in the
Chris
major league as
Freeman.
well. Yeah,
He played. He was drafted too. So they had 3 guys on that baseball team, 2 of them that made it to the majors
Right.
and had an extended careers. Freeman, I think, kind of made it to maybe AAA, and then he was a pitcher, and I think his arm went out on him. So, you're right. That was a loaded team. That their junior year, if I remember this correctly, they didn't lose a single game. I think they went undefeated, and that's so hard to do in baseball.
well, and one of my favorite stories that you kind of talk about Todd Helton is that I believe we were playing him one time, and you said that the bases were loaded, and one of our former coaches elected to walk Todd Helton as opposed to allowing him to, hit a home run or drive 2 or 3 runs in.
Yeah. It was either 1 run with the walk or 4 runs with the grand slam home run. I never saw the guy, seriously. People who watch high school baseball, think they're, and then we've got some good ball players on our team and the ones we play, but he was just so much better than everyone, and that's why he hit 500 home runs in the major leagues or close to it. He was just so much better. I never saw, and we were good then. That's when Sean Summers and them were playing. We were really, really good then as well. But I never saw the guy swing and miss at a pitch. The only time we ever got him out is when he hit a screamer at somebody, and they just somehow got their glove up on him. He never struck out. I saw him foul the ball off once in 4 years of us playing them 3 and 4 times a year, because we'd play him in the regular season twice. We play him in the district tournament sometimes twice, and even in the regional tournament too. So we played him a lot. I never saw the guy swing and miss at a pitch.
It's impressive when you see a guy with that kind of talent and that kind of ability, and just projecting his ability to go forward. And you see a lot of high school players now that get drafted and they elect to forego college or go to the minors. And to see a guy like Todd Helton and others that we've been lucky in the Knoxville area to kind of see have a lot of success is really cool when you get to play those opponents.
So let's get the 4th member of our broadcast crew in here, Vashon Knowles. You've never played baseball, but you have, I think, played on that field right behind us in football. What's your memories of coming up here to Campbell County?
Spin move.
Ooh. I like playing. I liked to play at their football field. I mean, it's a nice field, and I had a pretty good game. Probably my best game of the season there. 2 sacks. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I mean, this is a nice. It's a nice little area, I think. I like their field looks nice, and yeah.
Yeah. What I remember a lot about this, because I actually played on this field 100 years ago. What I remember, and it's improved since then. And Joey, I don't know if where you played in the field. I don't know if you played in the field here at Campbell County. But what I remember is if you hit the ball to the warning track or to the fence in left field, it was kind of downhill, so you had to go run kind of slightly down here. It looks like it's more level than it used to be back in the day. As I think we're about to have our national anthem. The good news is I just saw the coaches and the umpires meet, and the starting lineups are being introduced, and they're lining up. The Wildcats are lining up on the first base side here. In a moment, Campbell County will take the field. But what are your memories of playing here?
Playing here in the outfield, there's, as you can see, there's some gravel in the back by the fence. So, the ball gets out there. You can expect to take a couple bad hops. You can never be too sure. But
we'll probably have the national anthem coming up here. We're live at Campbell County High School on our prep radio channel. And now the starters are being introduced here. Maybe we can track down some of these first names here. That PA is not the loudest PA in the world. Not like the public address system at Oak Ridge, where you got the likes of Mr. Branson and Mr. Carr, who do the PA at the Wildcat games. Incidentally, we do have a home game tomorrow. Wildcats will play Campbell County again tomorrow. That'll be at Bobby Hopkins Field. And that game, I think, will be at 5:30. This is a 6 o'clock start here, although we're maybe a little bit running late here, just a little past 6 to start this game. You never know what's going to happen up here. Well, I've seen a lot of run rules. If you have a lead of over 10 after 5. And I've also seen some games go all the way through the 7th inning. So you just never know, especially in a district game. On the road, it's important to get a good start. And I know in previous years our baseball team hasn't really had the great respect for Campbell County, and that's cost them sometimes. And you've got to always respect your opponent.
Yeah, that's right. Good sportsmanship is always, perfect in this type of scenario.
Here comes the national anthem here from Campbell County High School. It's our national anthem here from Campbell County High Schools. We get set for Oak Ridge High School baseball, the Wildcats, and the Campbell County Cougars as we broadcast here from atop the press box. And looking forward to this. Wildcats this year, James, you followed them pretty closely last year, and Joey, you were on the team a couple years ago. What's the difference, I think, between this team and some previous years? Not that we didn't have a lot of good pitching. We have a lot of good pitching this year. Several new arms into the program that have helped, including a transfer from Hardin Valley and a freshman coming up here. And I think the difference in high school ball, to be successful in a postseason scenario, you've got to have good pitching. You can't just have one or two guys. You've got to have 3 or 4 guys, and I think they have that this year.
The Wildcats last year lost a lot of key guys, a lot of key seniors. Logan Rosenberger was one, and Bryson Parks, and those are the two that really come to mind, and they were really good for us. And a couple of years ago we had some seniors that really got things going as well. But you mentioned Camden Welch, who is a freshman coming in. He pitches some and playing right field tonight. Mikey Teasley is a pretty good pitcher coming in. He's going to be starting at third base. And you mentioned Tyler Pickens comes in and pitches a little bit. So what I think that is a good point, David, is that you talk about them as good pitchers and good leaders and hopefully coming in and helping the program, but it's not just at the pitching spot. They're very diverse and can be playing several different roles. And, like Joey said, I think one of the best things that he mentioned was, the attitude that Coach Free's bringing to the table about the team.
Jacob Franklin's going to get the start, I believe, today. I saw him warming up. It's just great to have Jacob back. I talked about this several times. He's had surgery on that arm and missed all of summer league ball, and got the win the other night against Anderson County and pitched incredibly well. And we'll see how things go as it'll be Caden Black to step in for the Wildcats. The junior steps in, batting from the left side against the right-handed pitcher. The pitch is up high, a ball. 1 ball, no strikes, and we are underway here at Campbell County High School. Beautiful day here in Cougarville. Righty working quick. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. That one's a called strike on the outside corner of the plate, and the count is 1 ball and 1 strike. One thing that I've noticed, and I noticed this in the first 2 Anderson County games, is the pitcher steps off the rubber for a second, and I'll come to that point after this 1-1 pitch. Called a strike at the belt, and he falls behind 1 ball and 2 strikes. Kind of like the new Major League rule where the pitcher has to get it and go. That's kind of what I've noticed here at the high school level through the first 3 ball games. Here's a 1-2 pitch. Oh, that's close. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Caden taking all the way here. He's 4 pitches, 2 in the strike zone, 2 outside. Typically, as I always say, if Caden gets on base, that's a stolen base immediately. And here's the 2-2 pitch. Hit foul off to the left side. I think it'll be interesting. James, I know you've coached for Sean Knowles here, who's doing our camera work here. I'll be eager to see if he has hands. If we get a foul ball up here, does he have the hands to protect the camera first and us second?
Well, I think Vashon might tell you he caught a touchdown pass or 2 this year, and so he would say that he does have hands. But, we can always improve on those, I guess, Vashon.
2-2 pitch is bounced at the plate, and the count is full. Now 3 balls and 2 strikes. It'll be Black for the Wildcats, Jacob Franklin, who hit his first home run of the year the other day, and then Tyler Pickens. Here comes the 3-2 pitch. Way up high. That's ball 4, so a good start for the Wildcats as he'll be the first base runner. And what do you say, James? 1 pitch, 2 pitches before he heads to second?
I think he'll maybe fake him out the first time and try to head over the second time. And, really nice patience there by Caden just to wait. And you never really worry about Caden getting a hit or getting on base. He always has good plate appearances.
Takes a good-sized lead off of first, draws a throw, and he skips away and rolling back to the fence, and Caden is going to make it all the way down to second. So an error right there by the pitcher allows the runner to advance down to second. So he's in scoring position. No pitch count yet on Jacob Franklin. Jacob, a tremendous game the other day. And James, I know you were on a long trip, but on our TV show on Wednesday, Coach Free said he's been hitting the ball great. He's going to have 2 doubles. He had 2 doubles and a home run in that game, so he was exactly correct. And let's see what he does here with a runner in scoring position. Pitch to Jacob is a bit high, and the count is 1-0.
And, Jacob has really been a starter for the past 3 years for the Wildcats in some capacity, whether it's behind the plate pitching or anything like that. And so it's really nice him as a senior here to be able to come in and, hopefully have a great senior year.
One thing, he will not be catching much this year because of that arm issue that he had the surgery with. Here's Caden going to third, and here comes the throw down. It's high, goes into left field, and the Wildcats are going to get the first run of the night. That's the second error called against the Cougars here in this inning. As soon as Caden gets on, he's going to move, and he was on the go there. The throw was just over the top of the third baseman. The Wildcats, good start here, James.
Absolutely great start here, and I think all of our teams in our district are always a little bit worried about Caden. Caden was a all-state player last year as a sophomore.
Cut on a missed, and the count is even at 1 ball and 1 strike. So, Joey, when was the last time you did a scorebook?
I used to be a big stat guy. Sophomore year, I was a pinch runner, and I took stats on the side. But yeah, I haven't done one of these in a while, I'd say. So sophomore year.
Pitch is down low, and actually the count is 2 balls and 2 strikes. Nobody aboard, nobody out. 1 run in for the Wildcats. Jacob Franklin, the senior, back in. Pitch hit on the ground. Third base side, fielded on 2 hops. He throws across the diamond. He throws it high, and he's safe. So that'll be the 3rd error of the inning here. That time he fielded it cleanly, James, and took his time, maybe a little bit too much time. He reared back and threw on the first and drew the first baseman off to the home plate side of the bag, just enough for Jacob to sneak in under the throw. And it was an errant throw, and it's another error.
Yeah, nice job, though. I'll give their first baseman a little bit of credit here as he was able to save that from Jacob, who was moving down the base path pretty quickly from going to second. So,
And he's going on the first pitch to hit on the ground to the third baseman, who makes another nice play. Once again, he's not going to throw it in time. That's going to be an infield single. He just took too much time. He fielded it on a really nice play, James. He fielded it. He got up. He hesitated, and then he threw on the first. And by that time, the Wildcats, Tyler Pickens, had already made it down to first base. The Wildcats have runners on the corners with nobody out.
And Jacob Franklin really heads up play there, seeing that the third baseman for Campbell County was down and was not recovering back to the bag, took third base without even a throw coming back to third base. So really heads up play here by him and the coaching staff getting him to third base.
Here's Eddie Tan, and the runner's going from first, and he gets hit. And that is the third time this season that Eddie Tan has been hit by a pitch. I think he's been hit in almost every ball game. Might be the fourth time. This is our fourth ball game. So now the Wildcats have the bases loaded, nobody out, and the Campbell County coach is out to have a word with his pitcher. You know, and to his credit, honestly, he got 2 ground balls in the infield, honestly, which, honestly should have been outs. Very easily could have been outs. The Tyler Pickens one was hit right on the button, and he had to go down for it. But honestly, the pitcher really hasn't pitched that poorly.
Hasn't pitched that bad, and he started out really well against Caden Black with a 1-2 count there, and had us a little bit worried about Caden getting on base, but he may be a little rattled here. Most of his pitches have either been high or in the dirt, so he's having a little bit of trouble finding the strike zone, obviously, as the Wildcats have been able to pick up 2 hits here.
Jacob Franklin is the runner at third. Tyler Pickens at second. Eddie Tan is at first. Lefty stands in. That's Richie Ferreira. First pitch to him, cut on a miss, and a pitch a little bit right around shoulder level, and the count is 0-1. Oak Ridge dugout making a lot of noise down below us here as we broadcast from the top of the football press box, where, what's interesting about Campbell County, we've talked about this, we'll come back to that at my point in a second. Here's the 1-strike pitch. Inside a ball, evens the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. Justin Price, the head coach of the Campbell County football team, unlike other football coaches, he likes to see the game from up here while his brother Matt is down on the field, which is something different. Pitch is hit it in the air, center field, should score enough for a run. It's deep enough, and that'll be a sacrifice fly. The throw goes over to third, but in to score. The Wildcats' second run of the game is Jacob Franklin. That is a sacrifice fly and an RBI for Oak Ridge's Richie Ferreira, and the Wildcats lead Campbell County 2-0 here in the first inning. Batter now for the Wildcats will be, let's see, number 3. That'll be Mikey Teasley, the freshman. Had just a tremendous ball game against Anderson County last week. He had 3 hits, knocked in 6 runs in that game against Anderson County, and not bad for a freshman. Takes one high, 1 ball, no strikes. Runners at first and second. 1 out here, 2 in for the Wildcats in the top half of the first. High and inside, 2 balls and no strikes. It's always good, Joey, to get on top here, and the Wildcats have scored 2 here in the first inning.
Yeah, that's right. Bases loaded, 0 outs, and we're at batter number 5 6 right now. Sorry. This is good scoring opportunity here. Man on second, and they're going to try to get him off at that second base there. Is that Tyler Pickens?
It is, and he's back safely. The bag really had not taken a big lead off of first, and I'm not really sure why he actually threw it back that way, because he wasn't maybe 5 feet off the bag. He does check the runner once again, working from the stretch. Infield it in just a bit, and that pitch is high again. 3 balls and no strikes.
I do think it's interesting, David. You mentioned that their pitcher was working pretty quickly. He seems to slow down here the past couple of batters, and not sure if it's just nerves or what. But
might have been something his coach told him when he came out, because he was working very fast, and now he's being a little bit more deliberate about things. Here's the pitch. There's a strike on the outside corner of the plate, and the count is 3 balls and 1 strike. Grange will play Campbell County at home tomorrow. That'll be a 5:30 ball game. 3 balls and 1 strike. I can't wait to ask Joey about JV ball games. Pitch is cut on and missed, and the count is full now. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Hold on, Joey. I'm going to ask you about it, because I know what it's like. Uh, 3 balls, 2 strikes. Pickens takes his lead off of second. Pitch is hit foul. Up this way and out of play. On a cold night like this, and it's warmer tonight actually than it was last week when we played Anderson County, although I think it's going to get back down in the 20s tonight. But those late night games after the varsity, they go home, and then the junior varsity has to play sometimes 5 innings or more, or at least 90 minutes. Let's get this pitch in here. We'll talk about that. 3-2 pitch hits him. Second batter of the game that has been hit. Eddie Tan will move down to second. He was hit just a moment ago. And the base runner Teasley's at first, and Tyler Pickens. And James, once again, we have the bases loaded and an opportunity to score more runs here. And we're getting closer down to the bottom of the order here. Now it's going to be, is that Kyron Welch who's going to step in?
Camden. Camden Welch.
Camden Welch, sorry. Here's the pitch to him. Called strike on the inside corner. What was it like playing in those JV games when it was on cold nights like this?
It really wasn't that competitive in the JV games. Usually to end up either run rule against us or for us. There wasn't really any close games for us. But I pinch ran for the varsity, so I'd have to go for that game, and then I'd stay after. So it got pretty cold. We usually huddle up in the dugout, but it was always kind of fun. Hanging out with the teammates and just talking, playing some ball.
Why did you elect not to continue on your baseball career?
I had to focus on golf and hockey. So I really didn't have much time with school, everything. So.
Well, there's another ball. It's going to be 3 balls and 1 strike. The Wildcats a ball away from planting another run.
Quick question for Joey. Golf and hockey, very similar swings?
Ball is hit in the air, right side. We'll come back to that. Ball's going to be caught in right field. Tagging at third. Here comes Tyler Pickens. The throw goes through. They might have a play at second. No, they don't. Down to second base will go Mikey Teasley. Moving over to third is Eddie Tan, and the Wildcats lead it 3-0.
Once again, nice base running there by Mikey Teasley and Eddie Tan, realizing that the throw was off the line from home plate there and that they can move up and also, stay in scoring position and take out the forces at second, third, and first base next time.
And that's another sacrifice fly and RBI. Fly out to right field. Now there's 2 outs. Pitches up high, 1 ball and no strikes to count.
9. So he gets the RBI.
Runners still in scoring position. 3 runs in here in the first. The pitch, hit in the air, left side, medium left. Left fielder back on it now, a little deeper. Goes back and makes the catch for out number 3. The ball's hit pretty well, but straight up. But the Wildcats do score 3 times. They do it with 1 hit. 2 guys were hit. We had 3 errors charged in the first inning. We go to the bottom half of the first here live from Campbell County High School. Oak Ridge on top of the Cougars 3-0, and we'll be back to Campbell County High School in a moment.
So you fill these in.
Welcome back once again to Campbell County High School. Little delay there, something I've never really seen at a high school game. The umpire just made our pitcher, Jacob Franklin, take off his Atlanta Braves blue, red, and white glove for a regular glove, and they had to switch out gloves.
That's unbelievable considering the fact that David's a big Atlanta Braves fan. So, I can't say you're happy about that one.
And Jacob is too. That's why he has a Braves glove too. And just they get some smiles down there. And now let's get back to work here. It'll be who are the top three guys leading things off here for the Campbell County Cougars?
We got Peyton Ferguson starting off, Dabney, and Chase Hazelwood.
Right-handed against the right-handed throwing Jacob Franklin, who has a very unusual sidearm delivery here. And I learned something about that as that pitch is in there for a called strike. One thing that I learned about Jacob, and I always just kind of assumed that he had always thrown sidearm like he does. That is something that Coach Free and the coaching staff got him to do because he just thinks he has better control that way. And, he's got some nasty movement on it too.
I was just going to ask you, is it the movement factor, and maybe he was already going a little bit sidearm in the slot of his arm?
But not nearly as much as he does now.
Right.
And that pitch is on the outside corner for a strike. Were you an overhand thrower or were you a sidearmer?
I was definitely an overhand thrower. I never pitched at all. Coach wouldn't let me, but, if he did, better watch out.
1 ball, 2 strikes the count. Leadoff man for the Cougars. 3 runs in here in the first. The Wildcats on top 3-0. Jacob comes in, swings, and he misses, and that's a swinging strikeout. Great start here, James, as the Wildcats get a swinging strikeout. And, Jacob doesn't throw hard, and I don't know if he'd get mad at me saying that. He doesn't particularly throw incredibly hard, but he just gets so much movement, and that angle creates so much difficulty for the batter to pick up the ball.
Most of our fans might not recognize Jacob right now, as he seems to have cut his locks from last season, and maybe that's causing a little bit more movement on the ball.
Is that the first time you've seen him without his hair?
No, I've seen him a couple times in the hallway and everything. It did take me a moment or two to recognize him.
His hair was almost, for those who don't know, his hair was almost down to his waist. I think he told me he had not cut it. As the ball is hit well into center field, that's a solid single. And they'll have a 1-out base runner here. Ball was hit right on the nose, right back up the middle.
Yeah, it was, and it seemed like that. You were talking about Jacob doesn't necessarily throw very hard, not a lot of movement on that, and was just right over his head, right over second base.
So they've got a runner on, 1-0 is their score.
Just single.
We'll have at least one viewer right here commenting on how high up we were. Caden Black fields it, throws on the first, not in time. I thought he might go the short route and get the guy at second and get the force, but he went across the diamond, and they have runners at first and second, so Campbell County mounting a little threat here.
Yeah, and I was thinking the same thing, David. I think the runner was moving there a little bit early, so Caden wasn't able to get up the force at second, but hard play there between Mikey diving for the ball and Caden having to stretch to get that one, and just to be able to get a potential play at first was a nice job there by Caden to prevent anything else from happening.
My first look at Eddie Tan playing third base. The Wildcats, this is about the third baseman the Wildcats have had through the first 3 ball games. So let me set the infield for you. It's Tan playing third. Caden Black is at short. Jason Slay is at second base. And Tyler Pickens is at first. James will set the outfield for you in a moment. And the battery, as the pitch comes in, pitches down low a ball. And the count is even at 1 ball and 1 strike.
We have Izzy Mitchell in left field, Richie Ferreira in center field, and Camden Welch in right field for the Wildcats tonight.
Kyron Welch is the throw down the second, not in time. Kyron Welch is the catcher, and Jacob Franklin is the pitcher. We've got a 2 ball, 1 strike count on the hitter. 3 runs scored in the top half of the inning. The Wildcats have a 3-0 lead. Jacob trying to work out of trouble here in the first inning. Good lead at first. The pitch is on the inside corner, but I guess 2 inside, and the count is now 3 balls and 1 strike.
Jacob, I think, was asking there if it was down a little bit lower, and the umpire said yes. Going back to that previous play, David, really nice arm action there by Kyron Welch to try to get the runner at second. You can see how strong his arm is there.
Ball four, and the Cougars have the bases loaded with only one out. So they're trying to get right back into the ball game. Jacob trying to work out of trouble here. You're exactly right. He did ask the home plate umpire where the ball was, and it was close to a strike. But Jacob trying to work out of trouble here. Right-handed hitter, bases loaded, full of Cougars in a district ball game here at Campbell County High School. Quick throw to first, and wasn't holding him on. Tyler was standing probably about 10 feet off the bag there. Bases are loaded, trying to keep them honest, trying to keep them close. They've got a runner at every base here. Bottom of the first inning. The pitch. Hit into center field. That's going to be a base hit. One run at least is going to score. Here comes the throw. It's going to be cut off by Tyler Pickens. Just another solid single to the outfield. Hit nothing fancy there. Hit it right back where it was pitched, and Campbell County's on the board.
Yeah, and a really nice job there by Richie Ferreira coming up and making a play on the one hopper there, able to get it into Tyler really quick to save just one run on the board for Campbell County because they did have the bases loaded. I do think you and I, David, were looking at who was playing third because it did look like Eddie Tan was taking, infield
Is that Mikey
at
out
third. Yeah, it is actually Mikey.
Yeah, I can see him now. I'm looking at his face as the pitch is evidently just a little outside. Thank you, James. You know I'm old. My eyes are not the best in the world.
I had the same thought, especially during infield as we were talking about in pregame.
That is number 3. I should have noticed that. That was my number when I played baseball at Oak Ridge High School years ago, before you all were born. As that pitch is down low, 2 balls and no strikes to count. So the only person who has not played baseball at some level is our camera guy off to the left here, Mr. Knowles. 2 balls and no strikes. Bases loaded for Campbell County. Wildcats in the lead, 3-1. Jacob Franklin trying to work out of trouble. Sidearm pitch is hit well once again, this time to right field. It's going to be caught and no throw. And the Wildcats get the ball in quickly. Nice play out there by Welch just to get the ball in like Richie did a moment ago. Cut off there by Tyler Pickens, and now Jacob has an opportunity to get out of this mess.
Yeah, it didn't seem like they have much speed on the base path there with the runner at third. Checking to make sure that the ball was caught first and had to go back and tag. But Camden Welch doing a nice job coming up and getting in quickly, as you said, David.
Bases loaded here. Another right-handed hitter. Who's this who's standing in?
Looks like this is Eli Smitty.
Pitch to him is on the outside corner at the knees, and the count is no balls and 1 strike. It's a learning opportunity here for Mr. Joey Weston, working on the book here for the first time in several years. 1 strike the count. Bases full of Cougars here in Campbell County. The 1 strike pitch hit foul up our way. Coming back here to the press box. Hits off the aluminum roof and out of play.
Vashon, were you not going to reach out and get that one?
We got to get him out from underneath the table here.
I gotta make sure that I keep the camera on the game.
Yeah, the first priority is save the camera first and get the shot, and then worry about yourself later. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Oh, that's strike 3 called. So the Cougars pick up a run. They pick up a couple of base hits. They leave the bases loaded. Wildcats still lead. We've played 1 complete inning here at Campbell County High School, and Oak Ridge leads it by a score of 3-1. Let's see. Maddox Free, you want to come over here and talk? Maddox is the son of the head coach, Coach Travis Free. You've played a lot of baseball. You've watched a lot of baseball. I'm going to ask you, is baseball your favorite sport?
Yes.
Is it because your dad is so into baseball, or is it really the best sport that you play?
The best sport I play.
What position do you play?
Catcher.
Catcher. I know you have some brothers. Where do they play?
Pitcher and sometimes catcher at second base.
Yeah, you were up here with Emmett. Emmett's going to be mad that he's not on the air here. You think he's going to be jealous that you're getting interviewed on the air?
Yeah, probably.
Okay. So how good can your dad's baseball team be this year?
Good.
That's good. Well, I'm going to go back to the broadcast. Nice talking to you there. Good to have another Free on the air. He'll be the second Free that'll be speaking to me. We'll be speaking to Coach Travis Free after the ballgame somehow. Emmett Branson is here now. Maddox got to speak before you do. Were you a little bit jealous knowing that he was on the air before you?
No, I'm not jealous at all.
You know why? Because you've been on the air quite a bit. You also play a multiple of sports. What's your favorite sport?
Baseball,
Why is baseball your favorite sport?
just because.
That's kind of what Maddox said too. I don't know. It's a lot of other sports out there. I'll talk to you here in a bit. We've got to do the game here. Good to talk to you though, Emmett. Well, here we go here. Just like his old man likes to talk.
Apparently. Wants to be on the air all the time.
Jason Slay leads things off for the Wildcats here. He is hitting in the number 9 slot. It'll be 9, 1, and 2 here in the second inning. James and Joey and Vashon, Jacob did a really good job getting out of that mess here in the bottom half of the first.
Really nice job. Had the bases loaded there twice, David. And was able to get 2 flyouts and prevent much damage from happening there.
And a strikeout, too, to close out the inning. That pitch was a called strike, and the count is even at 1 ball and 1 strike, 3-1 Wildcats. Righty comes to the plate, cut on and missed. He must be doing something because the Wildcats have swung and missed a couple of times and really haven't had really solid contact on him yet, really.
Not really solid contact, kind of soft contact even that's gotten into the outfield there as Jason Slay takes a ball down low outside.
Jason's a senior member, so you played with him, Joey. Obviously, he has worked his way into the starting lineup the last couple of years. And here's the 2-2 pitch to him. Called strike 3. It was way inside. Oak Ridge fans behind the plate saw it that way. But what kind of a player was he when you played with him?
He's always been a good player. He's been playing for a really long time, as I can remember. He was always taking reps with the varsity players, even as a freshman. I think he was maybe number 2 or number 3 spot at second base. So he's been at that position for a really long time.
Here comes Caden Black. He has scored a run in the ball game. Had a leadoff walk, I believe, if I remember correctly here. Was able to move down on an error to second base. He takes one high and outside. I think Jason a little upset with that called strike 3 call on him.
Yeah, I would say so. And, Jason was looking to get the inning off to a good start here as he had a pretty good count in his favor there.
Pitch is a little bit low this time. The count is now 3 balls and no strikes. Seems like every time we've broadcast a ball game here, we've been at strange locations here. We get a 3-0 pitch in. Called strike. At home, we're right behind the plate in the press box, looking right at the batter's box. In Anderson County, we had a pole in front of the batter's box, and up here we're pretty high. Ball's hit in the air, left side, foul territory. Left fielder, long run for him, but there's no way in the world he can catch up to it, and it drops harmlessly to the turf, and the count is now full, 3 balls and 2 strikes.
Yeah, it looked like Caden hit that one off the end of the bat there and just kind of had it slice out of bounds. Luckily for us, as the left fielder, as you said, wasn't able to get there. One point to think about, David, is it looks like the pitcher is kind of speeding back up here to start this inning, and not sure if that's kind of his plan or how he usually likes to do, or if his coaches are trying to get him to slow down or what.
Yeah, when he had base runners on, he definitely was very deliberate. And then when he didn't, he was just get it and throw it. Caden stands back in, 3 balls and 2 strikes. The wine, 3-2 pitch. Called strike 3, and he just couldn't pull the trigger on that one. Nice pitch there by the Campbell County pitcher.
Yeah, I guess that would caught the outside of the plate there, David, as the umpire here is going to give the warning to the Wildcat dugout, as obviously the Wildcats were not happy with the call there on the strikeout. 2 strikeouts in a row that it seems like that's happened on.
Another one of those officials that likes to be front and center. He warned, I guess, either Coach Free or somebody in the dugout right away and made a big deal about it, made a really big deal about it. And right-handed hitter, 3-1 our score. There's a call strike, and that is a strike right there. But, it's, me and officials, but you don't have to be as demonstrative as he just did to give the warning to the Oak Ridge bench. That pitch is hit foul territory right behind the plate. The catcher under it drops it. And Jacob Franklin has a second life here. He didn't have to be that vocal about it.
I was thinking the same thing, and I was wondering why he was pointing that way. And, now that I'm looking at it, they're press box, or where they have their press box at, is I'm guessing that he was telling the people in the press box that was their warning, not necessarily at the Campbell County dugout. That's the only thing I can think of, David.
Yeah, and he told our dugout as that ball is hit softly into center field. Shortstop makes a nice catch. Ball wasn't hit very hard. It stayed up long enough for the shortstop to get under it for out number 3. So we go to the bottom half of the second inning here at Campbell County High School. 3-1, the Wildcats in the lead. We are live on our YouTube channel, Prep Radio, and we will be back on Prep Radio in a moment. Welcome back to Campbell County High School. David Clary, James Branson, along with Joey Weston, Vashon Knowles here. We're sitting on top of the press box, the football press box, overlooking the baseball field here, overlooking the Wildcats, currently in a 3-1 game, in the lead here. But Campbell County showing a little fight here. In the old days, Campbell County, they'd already be down like 8 or 9, but this is a much better team. They've gotten some shaky fielding in the first inning, several errors, some overthrows, but for the most part, their pitcher has been very, very solid, and they've hit the ball well too.
Yeah, and David, they'd had runners on all the bases twice, and the Wildcats were able to hold them defensively 2-1 run, so that is a positive there from the Wildcat side. Campbell County, obviously, I guess, would have to capitalize on those opportunities more if they want to come back and tie it or take the lead.
So with Joey being the newest part of the broadcast team here, does he get to decide where we eat afterwards?
Ooh, I'm not really great at deciding for food, so I don't know. I think I might have to pass that to Coach Branson.
Do you let a rookie or a veteran decide, David?
A veteran, well, Vashon's actually more of the veteran, well, besides you and I. So he is the next up here. So maybe we'll let the rookie off this time, as that pitch is a ball, and the count is even at 1 ball and 1 strike. Jacob Franklin had a rough inning the last inning. Gave up some hits, gave up the one single run, left the bases loaded. He's trying to work through things here. There's a called strike, kind of a generous strike zone today here.
But, to his credit, he was able to get that last strikeout at the end of the inning to end the inning, so able to battle through that. And, I doubt very few things are going to rattle Jacob Franklin, a 3-year starter.
Yeah, he's been a lot, and there's a swinging strikeout, and that's a good start for Jacob here. And that is in that other column there. First inning, second. Yeah. We have to do a lot of things up here for poor old Joey here. I think he's been hit in the head with too many pucks. What do you think?
I mean, I think that's partially on me. I was trying to help here a little bit.
1 out here, nobody aboard. Jacob comes to the plate. Who's batting now for the Cougars?
It looks like we have Ian Silcox. We have a couple first names, but there's a lot of people that we only have their last name. So sorry for not getting the first name out there for a couple of them.
1 out here, 1 ball. Pitch is inside. Ball is 2 balls and no strikes. The Campbell County bench tells him to wear it. I've always liked that one. That was always one of my favorite ones, actually. Wear it means get hit by it and enjoy it and take your base. Yeah. 2 balls and no strikes. There's a called strike. Right down the peach tree, as we say in Atlanta. Joey will find out a little bit more about that this summer. 2 balls and 1 strike the count. Jacob Franklin.
Really recruiting hard here, aren't you?
Working from the stretch. I have tried and tried. A lot of people might not know this, but I have a job with the Braves, and it takes me away a good portion of the summer and fall. It's just nice to have somebody friendly. I see people all the time down there, James, like your family comes. As here's a two-strike pitch, swung on a miss, and that's a strikeout. And that's a good start here. 2 up and 2 down here. Strikeout number 3 for Jacob Franklin. So one thing I have noticed here, James, here, and this might be maybe what I'm noticing here, either Jacob is getting stronger or the back end of their lineup not as strong as that top end.
Yeah, I would, venture to say that. It's always interesting to see how coaches arrange their lineups because sometimes you might want a really good hitter in the 9-hole. Maybe not your best hitter, obviously, but a good hitter in the 9-hole to kind of get that top of the inning or inning going.
You know, James, I think honestly, we have done baseball, football, and basketball up here. You and I broadcasting before. It's your first broadcast of a baseball game, I think.
Definitely my first broadcast of a baseball game up here, but you're absolutely right. Baseball, basketball, and football.
Yeah, and we don't do golf and hockey. I mean, no, we don't do those sports. Nothing against them. Cut on a miss, and that's a strike. We do football. Vashon's here. He's being very quiet for Vashon especially. And Vashon's a talker most of the time. Vashon, you cold?
My hands are a little numb.
That pitch is down low. It's now 3 balls and 1 strike. Is this the number 9 hitter in their lineup? I think it is. So they'll have the top of the order for Peyton Ferguson. He was a strikeout victim back in the first inning. 3-1 pitch, 2 outs, nobody aboard. Here it comes. Hit foul over towards the Campbell County coaching box. Mikey gives it a look there and throws it back to Jacob. Full count now, 3 balls and 2 strikes.
Yeah, really nice job by Jacob battling back here. That got him to 2 strikes, and if he can do it right here, put another pitch in there, it looks really nice. He could end up with 3 strikeouts on the inning.
Right-handed hitter. Jacob from the stretch has the sign from Welch, and here's the 3-2 pitch. Hit hard. Second at the shortstop, Caden Black fields it, throws on the first, not in time. That'll be an error. And very seldom do we see Caden Black make errors. That is his second error of the year for the slick fielding shortstop. The ball was hit right on the nose. It hit him in the glove. I think he was really kind of surprised how fast the base runner got down the line there. He got there quick because usually with the strong arm that Caden has, he guns them out. But he was able to reach safe, and back to the top of the order we go.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. I was a little surprised how quickly their Logan got down the baseline there for the Cougars, and Caden, I think it just kind of hit him in the heel of the glove there, and just wasn't able to come up with it very cleanly.
2 outs, 1 aboard, 3-1 Wildcats. Starting to get a little chillier up here. I'm the only one who brought my coat in. Told you. Throw over to first and back safely. The ball eludes and goes past Jacob, but it's nicely backed up there by Mikey Teasley. Very seldom, and I've seen a lot of Oak Ridge baseball teams over the year, very seldom, it's hard to remember many freshmen that have actually started for the Wildcats over the years. Throw over to first, back safely once again.
Yeah, and David, we have 2 starting here for the Wildcats today, Camden Welch and Mikey Teasley as well. So really special talents, and I know Coach Free's really hoping that they develop in the next couple years as well.
Runner going, and goes all the way back to the screen, so that'll be a stolen base. The ball, he was going to steal that one anyway, so they've got another runner in scoring position. And 2 outs here, top of the order here for the Cougars. In a district ball game here in Campbell County. Beautiful mountainside. Most of the time when we're up here, it's cold, whether it be football, basketball, or baseball season. It's just up in the mountains here. Here's the pitch, hit on the ground to the second baseman, Jason Slay. Fields it, throws on to Tyler Pickens at first in time for the out. So they pick up a base runner, and they leave him stranded. We go to the top of the 3rd inning here at Campbell County High School. The Wildcats of Oak Ridge on top by a score of 3-1. And we'll be back on our YouTube stream in a moment.
4-3. Because it went to – okay. sick as a mindset.
Welcome back once again to Campbell County High School, side of tonight's District 3 baseball game between the Wildcats of Oak Ridge and the Campbell County Cougars. We go to the top of the third inning. The Wildcats in the lead 3-1. Leading things off will be first baseman senior Tyler Pickens. And the first pitch to him is hit foul back to the screen. Joey Weston, what did Tyler do his first plate appearance?
I believe Tyler got a single, and then he ended up scoring. I believe he was in on a sac fly from Richie Ferrero, looks like.
Behind in the count, no balls and one strike. The Oak Ridge dugout starting to make a little noise here. One strike pitch, two strike pitch. Hits the outside corner. Guy's not bad. This pitcher for Campbell County, not a bad pitcher at all.
No, he's changing up the speeds here a little bit, too, on the batter's second time around.
Here's the two strike pitch. Nope, he steps off the rubber. Nobody aboard. Nobody out. The pitch is down low. That's a ball. And the count is 1 ball and 2 strikes.
So, Joey, baseball, golf, and hockey, all similar swings, all different?
Here we go again. Here comes a called strike 3, and Wildcats just can't pull the trigger. And we can't get this answer out of Joey either, but that is out number 1 here.
Hockey and golf didn't really, mess with tweak anything, but baseball definitely changes up the golf swing. So, if you're a dual athlete with those two sports, it is good to take some time off from those two, try to, limit one to one season, the other to another.
That pitch is hit hard but foul down the third base side. And the count is no balls and 1 strike.
But yeah, so that's also part of the reason I stopped playing baseball is to try to focus more on golf, finish off my sophomore, junior, and senior season playing golf.
That ball is hit well to left center field. Late run on it, and it's going to bounce over the center fielder's head. Rounding first and heading into second is Eddie Tam with a double. When the ball was hit, and it was hit hard, I thought the center fielder was going to get under it, but I don't think he saw it right away. He kind of drifted over slowly, and there was no way in the world the left fielder could get to it. They both kind of converged, but by that time it had already cleared over the top of the center fielder's head, and the Wildcats have a double.
Yeah, really nice job there by Eddie being ready on the bases as well. As you said, the center fielder took a little bit of an arcing path there, not necessarily a straight path to get right to the ball. And Eddie ended up at second.
Richie Ferreira is the batter now. He swings and fouls one back over the screen. And the count is no balls and 1 strike. Be eager to see if they send Eddie towards third. He's in scoring position where he is now with 1 out here, but Coach Free, he likes to get those runners going. That ball is hit hard, and that's going to be fielded. And no, it's going to be right under the shortstop glove. Eddie comes around third and comes in to score. Ball was hit right up the middle hard. The shortstop was actually playing a little close to the bag. The ball just got under his glove, and the Wildcats played another run.
Yeah, really nice job by Eddie being aware of where it was hit, and knowing that he was at least going to get to third. And once it went under his glove, he was able to come home. Nice job of hitting there done by Richie Ferrer to bring in that RBI. I believe that's his second of the game.
And they do give him a hit here. So, and here comes the runner going, and it's going to be not in time, and that is a stolen base. To be honest with you, the throw beat him, but the tag was not put down, and Richie has a stolen base.
The second baseman was playing a little bit in front of the bag there, and so he had to reach back behind and attempt to tag Richie in order to get him out, and he just wasn't able to get there.
So the Wildcats have another runner in scoring position. The pitch is called strike. It was low and outside, but as Mikey Teasley takes it here, count is 1 ball and 1 strike. We've already had our warning. Can't get on to the umpire much more. 1 ball, 1 strike. Runner at second. 1 run in, 4-1 Wildcats. Pitch is breaking pitch. Whatever he's throwing there, it is freezing the Wildcat batters.
Yeah, it's on the outside corner there, and it's kind of falling away from the batters, and I think that's what's getting them. And, Joey, just make sure you don't get onto the umpire from up here.
Yeah, it'd be hard for him to throw us out for sure. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Runner at second. The pitch hit on the ground, third base side, fielded and fumbled again by the third baseman. And that's another error. The Wildcat runner, Richie Ferreira, might have distracted him just a bit because he was right at the point where he was about to field the ball, and he didn't field it, and that's another error.
Yeah, and I'm right there with you. I think Richie got a little bit too close there, and the third baseman for them, number 11, was looking to tag him to get him out and just turned his head away from the ball too fast. And got to be really cognizant of that as a base runner going from second to third when it tipped to the left side of the field there.
So, Joey, we've got runners at first and second. Let's see if Mikey goes on the first pitch. He is. There's a strike. Here comes the throw, and they're going to get the runner at home, perhaps. Nope, he's going to retreat back to third, and he is going to be out. Wildcats, he broke on the play. Nice play by Campbell County. What they did, they brought the second baseman in front of the bag between the mound, and he caught it there, and Richie had already broken towards home, and by the time that he realized that the play was on him, he retreated back to the bag and just wasn't able to. I wish he had a slid right there. Might have had a better chance to get it back there, but that is an out, and that is the second out of the inning.
Second out of the inning there on a kind of almost like a pitch out play, like like Campbell County anticipated us running, especially with some of our younger guys.
Pitch is high, and the count is 1-1. Who's batting, and what has he done today, Joey?
This is Cam Welch, and he had a sacrifice fly to move, I believe it was Mikey Teasley up to third base.
Here's the 1-1 pitch, hit foul. Back to the screen. The count is 1 ball and 2 strikes.
I thought I was about to go out to the parking lot.
one ball, 2 strikes. That was the beautiful voice of Sean Knowles, current junior of the Oak Ridge High School football team. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Runner at second. 1-2 pitch. Hit once again. Foul territory coming back our way over to the right side. Off the top of a shed down there, the dugout, and the count remains at 1 ball and 2 strikes. Wildcats played it a run. They lead it 4-1 here. Campbell County, you can see the improvement in this Campbell County baseball team.
I would definitely agree with that. They definitely look more competitive, and they're got a little bit more perseverance about them. And David, one thing I was going to say is I was noticing here the shadow is starting to creep in on the batters a little bit. So it'll be interesting to see how not just our batters, but Campbell County also responds to the ball transitioning from a lighter surface to a darker surface.
You know, you got your son up here looking how cold Vashon is getting right here and how little clothing you all have. Who's going to go back to the car to get the various extra clothing that I brought for other people, knowing that nobody would bring their full amount of warm clothing? 1-2 pitch. That's called strike 3, and we've had several of those, and that is the third out of the inning. Whatever he's throwing, James, the Wildcats can't pull the trigger on it.
Yeah, the Wildcats just not able to pull the trigger, and it doesn't seem to be moving fast, so it's some type of breaking pitch. And like I said, it seems like it's diving on the outside of the plate there and just not able to reach out on that.
So we go to the bottom half of the third inning. The Wildcats in the lead, 4-1. We'll be back to Campbell County High School in a moment. David Clary back here along with James Branson, Joey Weston, Vashon Knowles here at Campbell County High School. Sun beginning to set, as James said earlier. The shadows beginning to creep in on the field here. Jacob Franklin's about to begin his third inning of work. His team up 4-1. They've credited. What's funny? I'm looking over at the scoreboard. They have credited Campbell County with only one error in this game on the scoreboard, and there's at least 3. Wildcats have taken advantage of it for the most part. Wildcats have one error to their credit, and that is not up on the board. So I guess they're just very friendly to the fielders in the press area. 1 ball, no strikes to count. The pitch, cut on and miss. Who's batting there, Joey?
This is Dabney. This is their second baseman and second batter. We don't have a first name for him, unfortunately, either.
What has he done?
He had a single, and he ended up scoring. He was driven in by Mick Gillip. So, yeah, he's looking pretty good so far.
Pitches down low, a ball, 2 balls and 1 strike. We're here at Campbell County. Tomorrow the Wildcats will host Campbell County. That game will be a 5:30 game at Bobby Hopkins Field. And really kind of a busy week of baseball as that pitch is hit on the ground. Shortstop Caden Black fields it and fumbles it again and can't come up with it. Just didn't get his glove down, and that's the second error in the ball game, James. And that is, I doubt he had 3 errors all season last year, and that's 2 in this ball game.
Yeah, anytime the ball was hit to shortstop last year, you knew it was almost a secure out and a secure play that Caden was going to get to it. And that's not anything against his effort or anything right there. It's just seems like that one maybe the last 2 took a little bit of a weird hop kind of off that lip of the grass there.
You know, I'm thinking normally how we do our player interviews and coaches interviews on the road, they usually come up to where we are, pitches a ball. It'll be a long ways, but what we did at Bobby Hopkins the other day was lower a mic down. I think we have enough mic cord to go all the way down, but whether we'll get the camera angle to get them, because we are way up here. We'll worry about that when it comes. 1-0 pitch is a called strike. The count is even at 1 ball and 1 strike.
Well, you would also have to go around the track and football entrance as well. It's a little bit of a hike, not just to get up the stairs and up the ladder, but also just to get to the stairs and ladder.
1-1 pitch, hit on the infield. First baseman Tyler Pickens calls for it and makes the catch for out number 1. High pop, actually above us too. Kind of a unique perspective. It's kind of like sitting in the club level at Turner Field or at Truist Park. You'll know a little bit more about that, Joey, later on this summer as we get you the tour of the park. And another thing, James, you know, our friend Caleb Riker is another guy that has never seen a baseball game. This guy, you need to take Caleb and Vashon to a Major League Baseball game to kind of show them that baseball can be fun to watch.
Very fun to watch, and probably need to make that happen for sure.
Runner first, the pitch is down low, and down the second will go the runner. The ball was outside, and Welch couldn't quite corral it, and the count is 1 ball and no strikes. So they've got a runner in scoring position with 1 out here. Jacob trying to work out of trouble again. He's had base runners, I believe, in every inning so far. We're in the 3rd. Oak Ridge leads at 4-1. Runner takes his lead. Jason Slade, the second baseman, the Wildcat sneaks in behind the bag, retreats back to his position. That pitch is a called strike. The runner's going to 3rd. They could have a play, but not in time. He got under the tag, and he did get under the tag. I mean, the throw was there, but Mikey just couldn't get the tag on before he got his hand on the bag. So they've got a runner at 3rd and a 1-1 pitch about to be made to the batter here. So they're just moving on Oak Ridge. The Wildcats, you know, Jacob comes to the plate a little slower with that sidearm action, and his movement is so good. Sometimes the catchers do have trouble. Here comes the ball over the top of us and out of play over towards the football stadium, bouncing onto the track, rolling onto the football field. Will it make it to the sideline? It just does hit the sideline on the football field. I know they're all excited to hear about that. 1-2 pitch, Jacob Franklin. Here it is. Cut on a miss, and that's a swinging strikeout. And that is a good pitch right there for Jacob Franklin, and a very needed out there here, the second out of the 3rd inning.
Looks like his 4th strikeout on the day there. for Jacob Franklin. And just to comment on the two balls there, it seemed like one of them just kind of popped out of Kyron's glove there, the second one, and I think he flipped his glove over to try to stab it as opposed to kind of sliding and getting his body under the first one.
Pitches down low a ball, and he's got to be careful here because there is not a whole lot of room behind the plate, but if the ball bounces away from him, Jacob's got to be aware to cover the plate here. Hopefully he'll not throw it anything air in here. Keep that runner at third. That pitch is a called strike. That evens the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. We've got 2 outs. Campbell County has a runner at third. We broadcast from way up high above the action here at Campbell County High School. 4-1 Wildcats. Here comes a 1-1 pitch. That's called a strike at the knees on the outside part of the plate, and the count is 1-2. Jacob 1 strike away from getting out of the 3rd inning here. Has the sign. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Oh boy, looked like strike 3 from up here, but
yeah, David, I don't think they can throw this out technically because we're already out of the stadium, right?
Most definitely. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Runner at third. And here comes the 2-2 pitch. That's called strike 3, and he just took it right down the middle of the knees, and that is another strikeout for Jacob Franklin. So we've played 3 complete innings here at Campbell County High School. The Wildcats of Oak Ridge lead the Cougars 4-1. We go to the 4th inning here on our YouTube channel, Prep Radio, and we'll be back in a moment.
Get my credits out of the way.
Kyron Welch leads things off for the Oak Ridge High School Wildcats. He's a right-hander, stands in. As we play here in the 4th inning, that pitch is a called strike. Both pitchers throwing strikes, at least from the home plate umpire's perspective. No balls and 1 strike. The pitch, he hits him. So that's a good start for the Wildcats here. Tell me the pitcher's name here. I think he's really done a good job. Deserves his name, honestly. He's had some fielding issues behind him, or we have Eli Baldwin coming in to run for Welch here as a courtesy runner.
Yeah, pitching for Campbell County is Riley Goins. You know, he's been having a pretty good game. It looks like he has 6 strikeouts, 3 looking. So he's caught a couple of our batters with that nice outside pitch, that breaking ball. He's used that a lot against our batters. So,
you know, from up here, he kind of looks like our pitcher, John Ulrich. He's kind of tall and slender, and just kind of looks like he's transferred over the weekend to Campbell County. I don't think that would be the case. Wildcats with a runner at first. That is Eli Baldwin. And the batter is hit again. That's Jason Slay. So back-to-back pitches, back-to-back hit by pitch. And I believe that is the 4th guy that's been hit by a pitch today by Mr. Goins. And the Wildcats have runners at first and second. And now we go back to the top of the order here. And I see Coach Travis Free. He wants to talk it over with Caden Black. Caden played a lot of baseball for the Wildcats. His hit over 500, was an all-state performer a year ago as a sophomore. And that's very impressive, obviously. Long conversation taking place here. They've got runners at first and second, James.
David, you may may know, may not know. I would assume that you would, more so than I would. When was the last All-State player that we had baseball-wise?
Thinking about it, it's hard to really go back. I honestly don't remember, but I would guess it maybe all the way back to the Sean Summers days back in the day. We've had some good players in between, but it's hard to be an all-state baseballer. And thinking about our baseball team, we've had some good ones. I'll tell you a couple that should have been, like Ben Peters should have been all-state because he was a stud playing for the Wildcats. That whole team. Oh, there is 3 straight pitches, 3 straight guys hit by a pitch. And nobody is saying wear it because they are without even trying. That's 3 straight guys, 3 straight pitches.
And I think 5 total hit batsmen already.
And he's not meaning to do it. The umpires both, they're not, and Oak Ridge knows that he doesn't mean to do it, but that umpire just kind of patted him on the butt and said, okay, you got this. He's been patting our guys on the butt with the ball last 3 as that pitch is high and inside. If you're standing in right now like Jacob Franklin is, you got to think, is this one coming to my face? The last 3 guys have been hit. Bases loaded, nobody out. The pitch to Jacob is a ball. Man, that looked good.
Well, and I was going to say I would continue to just watch him throw for a little bit until he proves he can throw a strike or 2 here.
2-0 pitch. Called a strike. And the count is 2 balls and 1 strike. Bases loaded here. All 3 hit by pitches. Next victim is Jacob Franklin. 2-1 pitch is hit foul. Back out of play. And the count is even and now at 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Yeah, I think Jacob's going to try to get some of these runners in. Maybe try to get Jason Slay at second in as well.
There's a base hit to right field. I'm sorry, Joey. The Wildcats score 1. Here comes the second run. They fumble a little bit in right field. In to score is Jason Slay and Eli Baldwin. And the Wildcats up their lead to 6-1. So the hit batsmen come into play here. That's a 2 RBI single for Jacob Franklin. And the Wildcats now lead Campbell County 6-1.
Yeah, David really just softly hit there, but in the right position, kind of was able to choke up and poke it into a place that was wide open, and it got all the way to the right fielder there and just wasn't able to come up with it. And once again, nice base running by the Wildcats to get 2 runs across the plate.
And his control has been really good until this inning, but then just 3 straight pitches. He hit 3 straight batters, and 2 of them have now scored here. And the Wildcats have runners on the corners. The pitch to Tyler Pickens is a called strike. Your base runner is Caden Black at third. Jacob Franklin, even though he's the pitcher, they don't bring in a courtesy runner for him because he's a good base runner for the Wildcats. Been working on him to work for the Braves too. As that pitch is hit to left field, left fielder under it, retreating, tagging at third and coming in to score is Caden Black, and retreating back to first is Jacob Franklin. That is a sacrifice fly and an RBI for Tyler Pickens, and the Wildcats now lead Campbell County 7-1. So all 3 of the guys he hit have come in to score.
Yeah, just unfortunate for him, but very fortunate for the Wildcats. And on that play there, getting the ball back into the infield, the third baseman, I noticed he bobbled that one again. I would continue to try to go after him. Usually your third baseman have really great hands, got to have great hands at third.
Jacobs going, the pitch is ripped to center field. Center fielder back, makes a diving catch. He didn't really have a good beat on it. He had to jump at the last moment, or it might have rolled all the way back to the 375 mark. Ball was hit right on the nose, but out, and that is out number 2. And Wildcats are going to get a runner in now for Jacob Franklin. And let's see, is that Baylor Wright coming in to run? Baylor Wright is going to come in to run for Jacob Franklin. So the senior getting a chance to play his first varsity action here. So what's the strategy, Joey Weston, of a courtesy runner or a pinch runner in ball games and situations like this? Baylor's never played baseball at the high school level until this year, as the pitch is hit foul off to the left side. You did that for the Wildcats a couple years ago.
Yeah, just try not to get the signs wrong. You don't want Coach mad at you for the rest of the game, but it's really just play smart. Don't get picked off. Make sure to watch that back foot. Your first varsity game getting action, it is a lot of fun. It's a little stressful, but I think he's liking it so far.
Let's give Sean a picture of Baylor as that pitch is hit foul right over the top of the on-deck guy, Mikey Teasley. That is Baylor Wright at first base. He's played 3 years of basketball for the Wildcats, and his first year playing varsity baseball. He's got a lot of friends on the team. Just decided to come out. It's good to have him out playing and get an opportunity to play in a district ball game here at Campbell County. Here's the pitch, cut on a miss. Richie Ferreira swings and he misses, and that is a swinging strikeout. But the Wildcats score 3 runs. They do it with the benefit of only 1 hit. 3 guys were hit by a pitch, and they all came in to score. We go to the bottom of the 4th inning here at Campbell County, 7-1 Wildcats, and we'll be back to Campbell County in a moment.
Interesting. That they're,
Welcome back once again to Campbell County High School. We go to the bottom half of the 4th inning. The Wildcats on top 7-1. Jacob Franklin on the hill for the Wildcats. We saw him pitch the other day at Anderson County High School, picked up the win there, trying to get the first district win of the year. He's got an even count at 1 ball and 1 strike. Who's batting, and what have they done so far today, Joey?
All right, this is Eli Smitty starting off for Campbell County. He struck out in the first inning, and that was his only at-bat.
The ball was hit up here, and all safe. Everybody's good. Jacob just told me to watch it. I was all on it. It was James, the one who almost got hit by it.
yeah, I'm over here trying to tweet your scores, David.
We probably should have warned him. I saw it coming.
Yeah, no warning at all.
Well, I put my hand out. But well, at least Jacob said watch out, Clary, which is good. And that's a swinging strikeout, and that's out number 1. And Tyler Pickens was concerned. He looked up at us, and Jason Slay. They all were at least concerned. James,
I think I was the calmest of all of us.
because you never saw the ball hit. Did it hit you?
No.
I got a hand on it.
Joey's protecting me.
So we're part of the action here. 1 out here. And who's this, and what has he done today? That's not the best way for me to phrase it, but
Yeah. All that's coming up is Ford. It's his last name, no first name. He also struck out in the first inning.
so what you're saying, this Ford cannot drive the ball real well.
Dad joke right there.
yeah. No balls and 2 strikes to count. He just accused me of having a dad joke there, James, just because I said this Ford could not drive it.
I don't mind dad jokes. I'm always good for a dad joke.
You've come to the right place, Joey.
No balls and 2 strikes. We are live here at Campbell County High School. 1 out here. That ball missed you by 6 inches, James, and it would have popped you right in the face.
Wouldn't be the first time. Taking several of those grounders to the face there. But it's part of the game.
Here's the 0-2 pitch, hit on the ground. No, it's caught in the air by Tyler Pickens. Tyler just speared it out of the air. I thought it was hit on the ground at first, but Tyler made a phenomenal play. And Vashon, these guys weren't here. Tyler made a great play the other day against Coalfield.
That was a great play, actually. It was kind of similar to the one he just made, but it was more of the outside shoulder, and it was a catch. It was a clutch catch, to be honest.
Yeah, it really kind of stopped what could have been a really big Coalfield inning in that one. It was right down the line. They were base runners for the Coalfield Yellow Jackets that day. This one, just a nice play, as Sean said, a little bit more to his right. So there's 2 outs here. We're in the 4th inning, 7-1 Wildcats. And what kind of car make is this guy?
This is Ian Silcox. He also struck out in the 2nd inning. So 3 batters, 3 strikeouts before this. So yeah, we'll see how he does.
2 balls and no strikes. The count. Jacob Franklin pitching for the Wildcats here. Mikey Teasley's playing 3rd. Caden Black is at 2nd, or short, I'm sorry. Jason Slay at 2nd. The pitch is cut on and missed. Tyler Pickens is in the first base. Our voices must carry because I said his name and he looked up here. They must be able to hear everything we're saying.
Very keen ears out there in the field. You got to have them, especially if people are going to warn you if a ball's coming this way.
All of us had our hand out. We thought you might be paying attention.
That almost hit a dude in the head.
Well, I mean, baseball is a dangerous sport. You know, it is, especially when a projectile is coming at you at 90 miles an hour. Here's a 2-2 pitch, a little outside and low. Full count now, 3 balls and 2 strikes.
Yeah, David, just to round out the fielders for the Wildcats currently is Izzy Mitchell in left field, as well as Richie Ferrer in center field. In right field, you have Camden Welch. Behind the plate, you have his brother, Kyron Welch.
Jacob Franklin, 3-2 pitch. Call strike 3, and he knew it. And go sit down, and that's the end of the 4th inning. We go to the top of the 5th inning here at Campbell County High School. The Wildcats on top by a score of 7-1. We'll send it back. Sean Knowles is going to sing for us here. Take me out to the ball game. Take it away, Vashon.
I'm not going to sing that.
Okay, we'll teach him the words, although I'm hearing people down below us sing. 7-1 our score. We'll be back for the 5th inning in a moment.
Check.
Welcome back once again to Campbell County High School. We go to the top of the 5th inning here. District 3 opener for both teams. The Wildcats on top 7-1 in this district game. They'll play again tomorrow at 5:30 at Bobby Hopkins in Oak Ridge. I haven't decided if we'll broadcast or not. As the pitch comes in, hit foul off to the left side. It wasn't on my original schedule to do, but I found out today I don't have to go on a little bit of a road trip tomorrow, so I might be able to do the ball game tomorrow. Wasn't planning on it, and then I'm going to take a long road trip, maybe. As we got a 1 strike count, the pitch is called strike at the belt to Mikey Teasley, and he's behind in the count, no balls and 2 strikes. What has Mikey done today, Mr. Weston?
So Mikey's been hit by a pitch in the 1st inning, and then he got a single off an error.
Ball is hit foul. In the box, yeah. It kind of went off his, almost sounded like it went off of him, the way it kind of came off of him, but he was in the box, and it's foul, so the count is no balls and 2 strikes. Have I ever told you the story about Todd Helton and that house there, James?
Never heard it today.
Here's a two-strike pitch ripped to the shortstop. He can't field it, and that's going to be another. That's the pitcher, the former pitcher, taking over at shortstop there, and he is going to allow Mikey Teasley to reach. That's one thing they have had trouble doing, James, is that's fielding, especially on that side of the infield.
They have, and it's really kind of cost them a lot. The third baseman has had, I believe, 3 errors, and who was the pitcher before is now at short. Had a little bit of an error there. Trouble with the hop. Just didn't. Got to stay down on it and got to have courage to stay in there and come up with the ball.
Cam Welch is the batter here. He takes a strike, and the count is no balls and 1 strike. 7-1 Wildcats. Wildcats batting in the 5th inning. And let's see. What has he done today, Joey?
Kyron Welch, he had a fly. Oh,
Ball's hit in the infield. Foul territory. Third baseman under it. Calls for it. Makes the catch for out number 1. So pop up in the infield. And that is the first out. Mikey Teasley still at first for the Wildcats. Surprisingly, usually they go a little bit earlier. I see the first base coach having words with him. Maybe he meant to go a little earlier. As Wildcats step in once again. This is Kyron, I believe. Kyron Welch. And he's a right-hander. Mikey Teasley takes his lead off of first. 1 out here. Pitch is a called strike on the outside half of the plate, and the count is no balls and 1 strike.
Kyron Welch here, he had a fly out the first inning, and then he was one of the batters that got hit by the pitch last inning. And we had 3 of those, so yeah, not really rare in that inning.
They all scored 2 as that pitch hits him, and here we go again. New pitcher, same result. And is that like 5 in the game? 6 in the ball game. 6 Wildcats have been hit by a pitch in this game. On a cold night, that's got to sting a little bit.
Got to sting a little bit, and Kyron's going to come out, not because of that, but he's got a pinch runner, Eli Baldwin, coming in, so Kyron can go ahead and get his equipment on, get back behind the plate next inning possibly.
I think Eli's a senior too, is he not, Joey? Yeah, I don't think he's played all 4 years, but he is a senior.
Yeah, that's right. Eli, I believe he's been on the team since sophomore year, so he does have some experience.
So what happened there, while Joey was talking, the ball was hit to the third baseman. It was around the bag, and somehow Mikey got to the bag to prevent the force out of him at third base, and the bases are going to be loaded.
Yeah, on that play right there, third baseman, again, just having trouble with the ball as he kind of has the whole game here as he bobbled it a little bit, went off his glove, had to recover, and by the time that he recovered and tried to tag the base, Mikey was already there as we have the head coach of Campbell County coming out and having a little bit of a discussion here with the umpire. Obviously, he was not happy about it, thought that he was got his third baseman, was able to get to third base and tag him out before Mikey got there, but the umpire says that was not the case, and we're about to resume play here. Bases loaded, Wildcats lead 7-1 here. It looks like Caden Black, the always trusty Caden Black, is about to head up to the plate.
In high school ball, if you're up by 10 after 5, you can come away with a win. A grand slam right here would be nice. To the junior, he takes the ball high. 1 ball, no strikes, the count.
And David, I'm not sure, has Caden Black had a home run throughout his career here at Oak Ridge?
No, I don't believe so. Not that I've seen. I don't think, and some of the games I don't see at Bobby Hopkins when I'm in Atlanta, but the games that I saw last year, and I saw a lot of them, he hadn't, and the year previous to that either.
Yeah, he does have some pop to his bat, but just not able to get it, I believe, over the outfield fence. He may have had it inside the park one year.
Well, actually, yeah, and the other day at Anderson County, he came all the way around to score, but it was a triple and an error, so it didn't count as a home run. But and he's going to walk, and there's another RBI for the junior leadoff man. The Wildcats now lead by a score of 8-1, and the bases will remain loaded. Just kind of tough luck for the Campbell County team, honestly.
Yeah, and we talked about Campbell County and how they've looked to improve over this season, over previous seasons. And, honestly, the scoreboard might not say so, but a few little errors fielding the ball and then be a very different game. Could be a lot closer.
Much closer if he hadn't hit all those guys, too. I mean, we've only had really 1 ball or 2 balls hit well. We had the double in the gap and Jacob single, and that's about it. Jacob Franklin is the batter here. He knocked in 2 of the Wildcats' runs earlier. What else has he done here, Joey?
Jacob also had a single the first inning after that RBI. So yeah, I'm looking forward to see what he can do with these base runners.
He takes the ball, and the count is even at 1-1 strike.
Jacob, also from the mound tonight, it looks like he's had 7 strikeouts of the Cougars. So doing it on both sides of the plate here for the Wildcats.
1-1 pitch, hit foul up the third base line. Oh, nice soccer play there. Did you play soccer too? That seems like a sport you'd play.
I was never a big soccer player. My sister plays, but I didn't get those genetics from the parents. So yeah.
Hockey and golf. Nothing wrong with that. We'll talk about, hockey. It's a tough sport. That ball's ripped to right, deep, back on it, the right fielder. He makes the catch and tagging at all bases. And coming in to score for the Wildcats, Eli Baldwin. That is run number 9, tagging up and moving over from second over to third. I believe that is Jason Slay. And Caden Black had to remain at first as the play was right in front of him. But the Wildcats have put 2 on the board here. And they lead it 9-1. 2 outs now, though.
Yeah, 2 outs, but credit the Wildcats. Really good base running strategies throughout the game and paying attention to their coaches on when to go and when to stay.
Here comes Caden Black. No way in the world. And now they are going to break for the plate, and they're going to get the run. So they set up the play where the second baseman would cut off in front to keep the runner from scoring. But once it got off of his glove, Caden had the stolen base easily. That time, then the Wildcats elected to come in, and they score, and it's now 10-1. And the Wildcats had another runner in scoring position.
And a good hitter at the plate with Tyler Pickens up there.
Takes one high, and the count is on the scoreboard. Yeah, I thought that they hadn't changed it. is 1, 2, and 0. Pitch is hit well into center field. That's going to be a base hit. The Wildcats are going to get that 11th run, and the Wildcats are going to lead it by a score of 11 runs. So Jacob Franklin now can be 3 outs away from a victory.
3 outs away from a victory, and great job of hitting there by Tyler. Just able to, he really shows his power and really shows the pop that he has off his bat there. But once again, credit Caden Black getting into position on that stolen base, David. And, Aaron Vargas has the school record for stolen bases, and be interested to see if you know where Caden stands on that list.
He is now number 1. He is now number 1. So Caden Black is already rewriting the record books, and every one he gets just adds to that total too. But you're right about Aaron Vargas. Vargas was a great player and a great announcer too. And he did minor league baseball. Started with me as a broadcaster, and then kind of gave it up, as that's almost hit by pitch there, but it's on the inside corner for a called strike to Eddie Tan. 1-1 strike, 10-run lead for the Wildcats here. Trying to get more. They've got a runner down at second base. Pitch is hit foul right at the plate. What has Eddie done today? I remember one thing, but what has Eddie done?
Eddie got hit by a pitch the first inning, and then shocker. And then he had a great hit out to center right field, and he got a double off that. So he's been looking good at the plate today.
1-2 strikes, the count to him. The pitch is hit well to the outfield, but a nice play by the shortstop, but there's no way in the world they're going to throw him out. That's an infield single. But a really nice play by the shortstop.
Really nice play.
Saved the run.
This is what I was about to say. Saved Tyler Pickens from scoring as he moved over from third. And my apologies. Tyler did get a stolen base a moment ago. As we were talking about Aaron and Caden Black, the stolen base Kings at Oak Ridge High School.
And the Wildcats, Richie Ferreira batting here. The Wildcats have runners on the corners, throw over to first and back to the bag safely for the Wildcat. Eddie Tan, he's a transfer from Hardin Valley Academy and kind of a unique personality joining the Wildcats here. Wildcats have put 4 on the board here, trying to get more. The ball's hit right back to the pitcher. Nice play by him. Throws on to first in time for out number 3. But the Wildcats do score 4. We head to the bottom of the 5th inning. The Wildcats 3 outs away from a victory. We'll send it back once again. We're on our YouTube channel, Prep Radio, and we'll be back hopefully with the final 3 outs of this game in a moment. Welcome back once again to Campbell County High School. Jacob Franklin. And I got onto him last Wednesday on our TV show, and I'll tell you why in a second, as it pitches a ball. We had a 10-run lead heading into the 5th inning at Anderson County. Jacob was pitching, and he gave up a run, so we had to continue on to play into the 6th inning. And I got onto him about it. Hopefully Jacob can get things taken care of here, and he has a called strike, and the count is even at 1 ball and 1 strike.
Yeah, David, I'm hoping he can take us out because it is getting a little chilly.
Yeah, a little chilly.
Out here. Sun's going down. Coach
Yeah.
Branson's in short sleeves.
And flip-flops. My mom,
Feels great out here, David.
if my mom's always on James about wearing flip-flops in the snow. She's at the Lady Vols game. Can't hear it right now, so you're lucky. 2 ball, 1 strike count. The pitch is down low a ball, and the count is 3 balls. I think no, they called it a strike on the scoreboard. Look, 2 balls and 2 strikes. We'll go with that. Nobody on, nobody out here. 11-1, the Wildcats in the lead in this district ball game from Campbell County. Jacob to the plate. There's a called strike, and that is out number 1. Strikeout number 8 for Jacob Franklin. And it's getting cold up here, except for James. He's not cold, but Joey and Vashon cold.
Yeah, no, I'm in a hoodie and pants, and I'm ready to get back inside. So
Pitches down low a ball. Baseball season in the high school, it was so warm leading up to the baseball season. I mean, we're talking 70s and wearing shorts and enjoying it. What baseball should be all about, you'll find out this summer, Joey. But as soon as the calendar turned to the high school start of the season, we've had nothing but 30s and 20s. Tonight, I think it's going to be in the 20s again.
Yeah, we had very similar weather last year as well as we started the spring break season and the tournaments that we held.
Must be a little bit inside. The count is 3 balls and no strikes. 1 out here. Wildcats up 11-1. On the scoreboard, they have us with only 5 hits, and they have given them a few more errors since then. That pitch is a ball, and that's ball 4, and down the first will go the base runner. So there is that guy that could mess up our night if he is able to come around and score here. If you're up by 10 after 5, you win in high school. That's the mercy rule. And like I said, I got onto him in Anderson County last week. I think it was a week ago tomorrow that he gave up that run. We eventually won the game 14-4, but we had to play an extra inning as that pitch hits him, and now they've got runners at first and second. Let's see if there's anybody warming up. There is somebody warming up in the bullpen for the Wildcats.
That would be Camden Welch. Looks like he's warming up over there for the Wildcats, which means we probably have a new right fielder, and just can't see the number of who our right fielder is currently.
Riley Rehall, I believe, it looks like from here. Am I correct? Rehill, I'm sorry. I don't know why I said Hall. But he's a 4-year guy. He played with you.
yeah, he did. Riley, he's pretty good. He's improved a ton since sophomore season. I've heard he's had a couple home runs in batting practice, so his strength is pretty good.
He's playing right field. We didn't see him come into the game. It looks like Richie's still out in center, and Izzy is still out in left field. Izzy Mitchell, as the pitch is a called strike. I feel bad sometimes we don't mention Izzy enough because Izzy doesn't bat. He not that he can't hit, but typically they have a designated hitter for him, but he usually plays every inning of the game unless the ball's hit to him, and I don't think the ball's been hit to Izzy all night.
Not tonight. He's mainly been backing up third in some scenarios.
Wildcats get the one sure out at first. The ball was hit back to Jacob Franklin softly. I thought for a second he might try to get the guy at third, but it's better just to go ahead and get that safe sure out.
Yeah, the Cougars here have 2 pretty speedy runners that they've been able to get on base all night. That'd be, I believe, number 13 for them and number 10. Number 10's their second baseman, and he was able to move across the bases pretty quickly, I think, to get their 1 run.
So, James, have you figured out the logistics on how we're going to do the post-game interviews? As that ball is hit foul off to the left side.
Not yet, but there might be a mic drop somewhere.
A long mic drop. We might want to start getting the cords out, actually. Hopefully, it will be done here when 1 more out. 2 outs here in the 5th inning, 11-1 Wildcats. Jacob Franklin to the plate. takes something off of that one, throws a strike, and he's way ahead in the count. No balls and 2 strikes. What has this guy done today?
This is McKillop. He's actually had he has had an RBI tonight, and he has also had a flyout. So we'll see what he can do. He's batting third for them.
Ball's hit foul off the wall here. Bashan wants to go so badly. I don't know if it's because he's hungry, and he always is hungry, or if he's just cold. But Jacob Franklin just trying to end it right here. He's got 2 outs, 2 on, 2 strikes on the batter. 1 strike away is Jacob Franklin from ending this one, and the Wildcats will go 4-0 and win their first district ball game. Franklin steps off the mound. Runners at second and third for the Cougars. One was walked and one was hit by a pitch. Revenge is sweet. As the pitch to the plate, down low a ball. And the count is 1 ball and 2 strikes. Jason Slay, the second baseman, snuck in behind the runner, but Jacob more focused in on the batter, trying to close this one out with a 1-2 pitch upcoming. And here it is. Hit into right field, and that's going to plate at least 2, and the game is going to continue. So that happened at Anderson County, and I got on to him about it, but, he's pitched a really good game to this point. And it's baseball, we're talking about their number 3 or number 4 hitter in their lineup, too, and it's a 2 RBI single for him.
Yeah, Jacob's done a really good job for the Wildcats so far, obviously, giving you 5 good innings. And I'm going to put that one on you, David. You just had to bring it up.
11-3 is our score now, so we're going to play on here into the 6th inning. Pitch is a ball. 1 ball, no strikes to count. All I know is I almost didn't get hit in the face with a baseball, though, James. I mean,
neither did I.
No, you almost did, actually. Foul ball was hit up here. 1 ball, no strikes to count. Swung on and missed, and that evens the count at 1-1. Jacob, we talked about this. Jacob wore his hair. I think he had told me that he had not cut his hair from 6th grade all the way up to his junior year. As the runner is going, cuddle and miss. Here's the throw, and he's not in time. Oh, boy. Might have hit Jason Slay. Glove came out and might have hit him in his throwing hand there. It's a stolen base and a 1-2 count about to be is the count on the hitter here. So they've got another runner in scoring position. I think he went from 6th grade until this summer without cutting his hair.
Yeah, what I kind of find funny is his younger brother, Alex Franklin. They kind of switched. So Alex used to have the short hair and Jacob had the long hair, but recently Alex has the long hair, so.
And that is a swinging strikeout, and that is out number 3. So we go to the top of the 6th inning here at Campbell County High School. The Wildcats still lead it 11-3. We'll be back to Campbell County in a moment. We are back here at Campbell County High School. We go to the top of the 6th inning. The Wildcats In the lead, 11-3. It's Mikey Teasley leading things off for the Wildcats. And he is looks like the number 5 hitter. 5 hitter, I believe, in the order. 5, 6, and 7 will be batting here for Coach Free and hopefully more. Wildcats do lead at 11-3. We were so close, Joey, to getting out of this one.
Yeah, no, I'm not going to say I'm not enjoying the game, but, it is getting cold. It's getting even more cold than the last time I said it, so it's dropping.
And this is one of the coldest places in East Tennessee. When you come to Campbell County, you expect it to be cold because we're up here in the mountains, basically, as there's a called strike, and the count is 3 balls and 1 strike. And we aren't exactly covered. We are on top of their football press box. You can tell if you're watching the stream how far up we are looking down on it. That pitch is hit foul and out of play. Let's see if it hits Vashon down there. Speaking of Vashon, James, what did Vashon just do?
Vashon just went to the car because he was so cold to get something, I believe a jacket or a blankie or something for him to be able to cover up a little bit.
3 balls, 2 strikes the count. Here's the 3-2 pitch. Ooh, almost hit him. And Mikey Teasley is aboard again for the Wildcats, freshman on base. He's been on base a couple times here. And what has he done today? And what has the next batter done for the Wildcats who stands in?
Yeah, Mikey Teasley, he's been on base 4 times out of 4. Hit by pitch, and then 2 errors in the field has led him to 2 singles. So, he's been on base a lot. He's familiar with it today, and let's see if he can get a run for him.
Here's Riley batting for the first time today, right-handed hitting senior. Mikey Teasley is the base runner at third. Mikey played the other night, I think in one of the Anderson County games. He was 0 for 1 on the year. Been in right field here as he takes a strike. And right-handed hitter, kind of a quiet guy.
Yeah, Riley Hill, he's a super nice guy. I've seen him around the hallways, say hi to him once in a while, but
throw it at first, and Mikey Teasley is back. Campbell County trailing 11-3. I think James is even getting cold. He's put his hood on at least.
Yeah. And David, I'm going to be surprised if Mikey doesn't try to take second here. You've seen him all night. He's looking to get an extra base, and Coach Free, he loves to get the runners around. Loves to get them going to scoring position.
I think the umpire's getting cold too because that pitch was outside. I think the field umpire just warned our third base coach because that definitely was not a strike. And the pitch is hit foul back to the screen. It was low and outside, and there's a running dialogue. And see, this is what I don't like about officials and umpires who talk to coaches and players during ball games when they should just call the plays. Mm-hmm. No balls and 2 strikes to count. Riley stands back in. The pitch to him, hit foul up this way and dropped by the catcher. It couldn't have been any more than 10 feet above his head. So it had a kind of a backspin on it, and he just couldn't catch it.
And that's the second time this has happened this game. He had it in the glove the first time. It popped right out, just like that.
So Riley has new life here. Teasley still at first, which is kind of surprising to me, honestly. Fakes the throw over to first, and Mikey's back. Nobody out here as the Wildcats bat here in the 6th, leading Campbell County 11-3. Riley back in for the Wildcats. Right-handed hitting senior. Pitch to him is way up high, and the count is 1-2.
Yeah, and Riley just being real patient here, battling off some of the pitches and being able to stay in here. Like Joey said, I wouldn't be surprised if Mikey tried to take a base here in a moment, just to either take away the force play at second or to prevent a double play.
Yeah, no, like I said, Coach Free, he's always looking to put runners second, third, put them in a scoring position, especially for batters like this, Riley Rehill, who can put the ball into the outfield.
1 ball, 2 strikes to count to him. Takes one low. And that looked better than the one he called a strike on earlier. That sent the field umpire into a tizzy. 2 balls and 2 strikes. You'll learn, Joey. I don't have the fondest regard sometimes for officials, umpires, and such. There's a called strike 3, and that one was low, and the count was strike 3. So Riley goes down, looking, and well, he did bring back a blanket with him. He didn't bring. You could have brought the red coat too. It was sitting in there. He brought some gloves back too.
Yeah, football gloves to be specific. Looks like.
Here comes the throw and a stolen base there for the Wildcats. Mikey Teasley. A little bit later than I thought he'd go, honestly, but he is in scoring position with one out here. And what has this batter done?
We have Cameron Welch up, if I'm correct, and he had a sacrifice fly, struck out, got out, and he got hit by a pitch twice. So, yeah.
Mikey just moved over to third on what I will call a wild pitch. It was off the catcher's glove, but I don't think he really had much of a chance there. So he's at third base here, and a 2-ball, no strike count. And the pitch called a strike, and it's 2 balls and 1 strike. Do we need a picture of this over here, of this camera guy here with his blanket on him?
That might have to be the next thing we tweet out, David.
2 balls, 1 strike the count. Pitch, hit, foul. Up the first base side, about 15 feet away from the home plate area, and the count is even at 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Yeah, just noticing, David, that the infielders have moved in on the grass to prevent or try to prevent Mikey Teasley from scoring from third if there was an infield hit here.
And there's a foul ball, just ripped past third. Mikey had to jump out of the way from it. Sean, I don't know if we kept the wide shot all day or if you closed in anytime.
Yeah.
2 balls and 2 strikes to count.
Man of many words today, David.
He's cold. And the pitch is hit once again foul.
And David, that was my mistake. Actually, up to bat is Kyron Welch, Cameron Welch's brother.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 on, 1 out. 11-3, the Wildcats in the lead.
Looks like Camden is still warming up in the bullpen, so might see him next inning.
That pitch is a ball, and the count is now 3 balls and 2 strikes. 11-3, the Wildcats in the lead. On deck for Oak Ridge is Jason Slay. Pitch, hit foul. All right, coming back this way is still in play. The pitcher staggers and makes the catch. I saw it going up, but I didn't see it coming our way, but it was up about our level, and that is out number 2.
I had eyes on that one, David.
Well, that's good. Is that blanket warm for you there, Vashon?
Yes, very warm, and these gloves are helping me a lot.
2 outs now, and Jason stands in. He hits the ball on the ground to the third baseman and passed him to the shortstop, and he wasn't going to throw him out. Once it got under the glove of the third baseman, the shortstop made the play right on the grass and then fell right back on his backside, but he wasn't going to throw Jason out anyway.
Wasn't going to throw Jason out, and Jason picked the right person to hit it to as number 11, their third baseman for Campbell County. He's really struggled all night being able to come up with grounders.
And the good news is the Wildcats score another run to make it 12-3. And the batter is Caden Black, and he takes a strike. No balls and 1 strike. So the key now is to get Jason Slay in to get that 10-run lead again. That's the key. So let's see if Jason goes here on this pitch. He is not going. Caden takes the ball, and the catcher throws down the second anyway, and Jason was standing nice, quietly, and safely on the first base bag.
Looks like we got him a little jumpy, David.
I think so. I mean, he bluffed to go, but then he went right back to the bag. 1 ball, 1 strike, the count on Caden Black, and throw over to first, and Jason is back. Second pitcher used by the Cougars tonight. The original guy Goins is playing shortstop for them now. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs, 1 in, 12-3 Wildcats. Black hits the ball in the right field, pretty deep to right center field. The right fielder doesn't see it, and the ball is going to drop in front of him. And here comes Jason Slay, and he's going to score, and we're back up by 10. So Wildcats, a little pop fly. I don't think the right fielder ever saw the ball.
David, I think it was more of the center fielder. I don't know if the right fielder called off the center fielder, but the center fielder seemed to take about 2 or 3 steps and then just stood there, and the right fielder was the one that had to make the longer run. It looked like center fielder should have had that ball.
And typically the center fielder is the guy who's the captain of the outfield out there. So either way, it's a break for the Wildcats, and Oak Ridge is back up by 10.
Yeah, and Caden Black's on base right now, so you can probably almost expect him to be at third by the end of this at bat. So
Troy Tex is the batter now for the Wildcats here. His first plate appearance of the night. And the pitch to him is on the inside corner at the belt to Big Truitt. And the count is no balls and 1 strike. He played football with Truitt there, Mr. Knowles. He's a big dude.
Yeah, I had to go against him in practice. He played left tackle. I played a left outside linebacker. And, okay.
And he hits the ball hard on the line to the shortstop, and that's the out.
That is out. But, yeah, he's a pretty good O lineman. I feel like one toughest O lineman I went against all year.
And he also plays first base and will DH some this year. Well, guys, here we go again. The Wildcats are up 10 once again, 13-3. So we're 3 outs away, and we've got a new pitcher. We'll come back to talk about him in a moment. We're live on our YouTube stream on Prep Radio, and we'll be back to Campbell County High School in a moment.
They have a bathroom open right here.
Welcome back once again to Campbell County High School. James Branson, we have a new pitcher, and he's a freshman, I believe. Another freshman playing. He's been in the game before, but now he's on the hill.
Yes, that would be Camden Welch. Camden's coming in from right field. He's been warming up in the bullpen. He's got a really good arm. A little bit of a different view here for the batters that will be coming up. A little bit more over the top, a little bit quicker speed on his pitches than the batters have been seeing out of Jacob Franklin. And, you know, Jacob's more of a sidearm, and this is coming of more of a traditional angle here. And so definitely a changeup. Will be a good role for a freshman that throws really well, throws really hard to get a nice closer here.
Well, the Wildcats need 3 outs again to send this game to its conclusion. The Wildcats up 13-3. We'll have a recap of all the scoring, and we'll hopefully have some interviews down below us, long way down below us. I think we have enough mic cord there. We'll drop a mic down there. Hopefully the camera won't fall off. As Welch has the sign, big lefty, freshman, comes to the plate. Oh boy, you're right. He brings it. When he throws it, he brings it hard.
Yeah, I think Coach Free was saying that as of right now, he's maybe mid to high 70s, maybe low 80s possibly.
1 strike the count. Throwing to his brother, I guess. They're behind the plate. I think that's his brother. Sometimes Alex Franklin comes in to catch. That cut, he's way behind on that swing, and the count is 0-2.
Yeah, and Landon Hensley's up to bat for Campbell County. He's had a flyout and a strikeout. So let's see if Camden can get a strikeout right here.
Nobody out, nobody aboard here. 13-3. The Wildcats in the lead. 6th inning. Came to the plate, and that's a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. The count. I met him a couple years ago in Atlanta at a Braves game, and Coach Free pointed him out to me. He said, "This one is going to be a really nice pitcher for us." And I looked at him, and he just looked like a kid to me, but I can see it. Now he throws hard. And it was a little outside, and the count is even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. It's interesting. He's the younger brother, and he's much bigger than his older brother.
Been working on him for some while, David, trying to get him to play football, and no success just yet.
I think like the Todd Helton story, and I've told you about Todd Helton here, haven't I? But yeah, just joking. But I think football could be a good sport for him, but I can see a future in baseball for him, especially with that kind of live arm. But he's got to have control here too. He's got a 3-2 count on the batter. And here's the pitch, and that's ball 4. So got ahead early. The first 2 were really nice pitches, but the last 4 actually were well out of the strike zone. You can overthrow sometimes.
You can overthrow, and just got to kind of reset, and it's a good opportunity to reset here and calm the nerves down as you get a new batter up, and maybe you get a double play, but it'd be nice to get 3 strikeouts in a row here as well.
Right-handed hitter, and that's a called strike. And let's see. You want to answer Mr. Riker on my phone here there, Vashon? No balls, 1 strike the count. Runner at first, 13-3. The Wildcats in the lead. Cam comes to the plate, a little outside. He throws heat. Obviously I haven't seen him pitch much. Does he have breaking stuff too? He's just thrown fastballs so far in this one.
He does, and I think that's something that he's still working on, so we may not see a whole lot of that just yet.
1 ball, 1 strike the count. That's all right. Runner at first. Welch comes to the plate. There's a nice, pretty fast ball for a called strike, and the count is 1-2.
And these Campbell County players are seeing a lot different. You go from Jacob Franklin, a right-handed sidearm pitcher, to a Camden Welch, who is a left-handed overhand player. So it is different for these players to see that, and nobody has made contact yet. So
there's a strikeout looking on the inside corner. I think the batter didn't agree with the call, but it was a strikeout.
Yeah, he didn't look too happy there, as it was a little bit of an inside pitch there, and was able to freeze him, and Camden Welch able to get a first strikeout here in the bottom of the 6th inning.
The good news for Cam here is we're at the bottom of their order, close to the bottom of their order. And they have struggled tonight against Jacob Franklin, the first pitcher. There's a called ball, just a little inside and low. What has this guy done?
This is Ford, once again, the car company. He's had a strikeout. He got on base. He got a single, and he also he was thrown out by Jason Slay at second base. So
1 ball, no strikes the count. The pitch is low and inside. Count is 2 balls and no strikes. Oak Ridge up 13-3. Wildcats have 1 out here. They're 2 outs away from a victory. Did I just spoil it again, guys, by saying that?
No, I think that one's safe.
Okay. 2 balls, no strikes, the count. And the pitch. There's another called strike. And the count is 2 balls and 1 strike. My name is David Clary, along with James Branson, Joey Weston, Vashon Knowles. We're up here at Campbell County covering the Wildcats here in this first district ball game of the 2023 season. Wildcats trying to go 4-0 on the year. Pitch, oh man, pretty looking pitch from up here.
Are we sure Vashon's still over there? I only see a tent.
He's got gloves on. He's got a blanket on. He's got actually a blanket that's actually going to be a collector's item. I don't know if you saw what is labeled here. I'll show you here in a bit. 3 balls and 1 strike, the count, the pitch. That one's low, and that's ball 4. So he's just missed on a couple of them. I'm going to show you this. And do you understand why that is going to be a collector's item? Show that so James can read that.
Oh, for sure. That definitely would be a collector's item.
2000 home of the All-Star game, which was not played in Atlanta.
Was not played. Very unfortunate.
Yeah. 1 out here. They've got runners at first and second again. Cam trying to close this one out, getting the third out, the second and third out, just actually trying to close out with this 10-run lead has been difficult for the Wildcats here.
Absolutely, as Jacob Franklin pitched the 5th inning, and Cougars scored 2 there, and Camden Welch trying to prevent any scoring here in the 6th.
Pitch is cut on a miss, live fastball there, and the count is even at 1 ball and 1 strike. They've got runners at first and second. Wildcats up 13-3. We just need a couple more outs here once again, or we'll go to the 7th inning as Camden Welch, left-handed throwing freshman, with a 1-1 pitch. Cut on a miss. He lunged at it that time, well behind it, and the count is 1-2. Let's finish him off right here, guys.
Absolutely, and I think the speed can be a little bit intimidating as a batter there, but you got to stay in there and make him make his pitches.
1 ball, 2 strikes the count. Here's the 1-2 pitch. That's just a little bit high, and the count is even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Kind of a nice view from up here to see the city of Jacksboro, and we've got La Follette to our right here. And that house over there, I've told you about the house, right?
Does Todd Helton own the house?
He owned it that day, that's for sure. 2 balls and 2 strikes to count. Runners at first and second for the Cougars. The pitch, it's a ball. Here's a throw down and not in time. Nice idea there, but unfortunately that's ball 3, and he's perhaps one pitch away from walking. The bases loaded.
Yeah, and I'm looking at the batter's stance here. He's really towing the line there in the batter's box on that white line, really crowding the plate, maybe taking that away from Cam. Be interesting to see if Cam comes inside here on him.
3 balls, 2 strikes. 3-2 pitch. Called strike 3, and that is ball. That is the second out. He tossed the bat, and he was heading down to first base for the walk, and that is out number 2. And that's one thing you don't want to do is show up the umpire. He didn't say anything. He didn't even react on it, which I like. But that's not a good way to make friends with the umpire.
Definitely not, and definitely displeased with the call there as he headed to the dugout, but never really turned around and addressed the umpire. So really good job there by him.
So we got 2 outs now. We had 2 outs before in the previous inning here. They sneak behind, and Jason Slay is there to drop it, but he was easily back to the bag.
Yeah, and batting for Campbell County here is Logan. He got on base his first at bat from an error at second base, and then he struck out his last at bat.
2 outs here, 13-3 Wildcats. Camden Welch trying to close it out and get the win for Jacob Franklin and the Wildcats here. The pitch at the belt, maybe a little high, and the count is 1 ball and no strikes.
How often do you think Camden and Kyron played these scenarios in the backyard growing up?
A lot, I'm sure, quite a bit. You know, his brother Camden's pitching, Kyron's catching. There's a called strike.
It's got to be kind of a cool moment.
It is. Yeah, I've seen the Franklins throw to each other, and both of them, Jacob to Alex and Alex to Jacob. So, but I don't think we're not going to see Jacob catch anymore this year. That's what Coach Free says, at least for right now. 1 ball, 1 strike, the count. And the pitch, inside corner for a called strike, and we're now 1 strike away from getting down into the warmth of the press box here at Campbell County High School and heading down and letting Joey pick where we're going to eat. 1 ball, 2 strikes, the count. Runners at first and second. And the 1-2 pitch, hit on the ground. Oh, and it's going to deflect off the pitcher, but they have no play. And, you know, honestly, I don't know if the ball was hit like a rocket. If it doesn't deflect, I think either Caden or Jason might have fielded it out there behind second base, and they might have gotten it out. But more importantly, really, because it was deflected, if it had gone through, they would have scored that run, and it would have been 13-4.
Yeah, and also just really glad that Cam is okay there, able to get back out on the mound. The umpire there coming to check on him, and Cam was shaking it off. And so, once again, just really want to see him close it out here.
2 outs, bases loaded. Welch comes to the plate with a called strike. Are we back at the top of the order again?
Yeah, we're back to Peyton Ferguson. He's had a strikeout, and then he also was thrown out from, I believe it was our third baseman, Mikey Teasley.
1 strike the count, bases loaded, the pitch. Nice stop there by Kyron Welch. 1 ball, 1 strike the count. Have you heard anybody complain more than this camera guy over here?
Not at all.
It is cold. 1 ball, 1 strike the count. Bases loaded, 13-3 Wildcats. The pitch is up high. No place to put this guy, guys.
Yeah, that's right. Vashon, he's looking a little cold over there, but no, I think he's going to be a lot better once we get in the van. So
It'd be a lot better if we can get another couple strikes here or a little pop-up in the infield someplace. 2-1 pitch. Hit foul back to the screen, so the count is even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Tyler Pickens playing first base for the Wildcats. Looking over to the Oak Ridge dugout for instructions on how they want to play this. He backs up a step. Bases loaded. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 13-3. The Wildcats in the lead. One thing that you can say, and I'll say this when the game comes to a close here, as Cam comes to the plate, hit foul. Once again, I'll say it right now. in previous years, Campbell County would have laid down and died, and they have mounted rallies we're way up on them, 10 runs right now, but they have mounted rallies in the last 2 innings.
Well, and really, their pitching in previous years as well hasn't been the greatest, and they've just kind of put a guy up there. But really, the fielding's really what let them down tonight.
Most definitely. 2-2 pitch, here it comes. Down low, and that's a ball. Can't afford to throw one out of the strike zone here, guys, or we're headed to the 7th inning. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Oak Ridge dugout giving him encouragement. He's a freshman. Just throw a strike here. Throw it to your brother right down the middle and see what he can do with it. 3 balls, 2 strikes the count. Bases loaded. Camden Welch with a full count pitch. That's ball 4. And we play on. And that's a bases loaded walk here, and it's now 13-4. It's very unfortunate because he has thrown the ball well. He's just barely missed on most of the occasions, but that pitch was out of the strike zone.
Yeah, just missed here or there, and unfortunate. But as a freshman, it's a good learning experience, good learning opportunity, and how to maybe know what we need to work on moving forward in the season and his career at Oak Ridge High School.
Number 2 hitter in their lineup takes a strike, and the count is 0-1. So we will have a 7th inning here. I would be surprised, really, if Kim came back for the 7th inning to pitch, but we'll see. Might see. I don't know if Alex is going to pitch tomorrow. We've got a busy week of baseball. I'll talk about that in a second. That pitch is hit well to left field. That's in for at least one. Oh, nice play by Izzy. Cuts it off. I thought he was going to go for – they're going to get a runner and a rundown. He's going to be out. Really nice play by Izzy Mitchell. For one thing, Izzy's fast. The ball was hit like a rocket down the left field line there. It took one bounce, and Izzy caught it on a fly and got it back in so quickly. I think it surprised the hitter because he thought that was going to be an easy double and easily thrown out. Nice play by Izzy Mitchell and the tag out, and that's the 3rd out.
Really nice job there by Izzy, but also a great job, getting it to his cutoff guy, Caden Black, in that scenario. Great job by Jason Slay covering second, and everybody knowing where they had to be in those type of scenarios. And Caden just, looking up, recognizing that he had a slower runner there, trying to advance to second and just get it over to Jason, get the out, and end the inning.
But it's 13-6 now. I mean, they've played it a couple more runs here, so we'll play the 7th inning. We are live on our Prep Radio channel on YouTube. My name is David Clary, along with James Branson, Joey Weston, Vashon Knowles. Emmett Branson is here as well. We'll take a break. We'll be back for the top half of the 7th inning in a moment. Welcome back once again to Campbell County High School. We go to the top of the 7th inning. Oak Ridge on top by a score of 13-6. Tyler Pickens leads things off for the Wildcats, and he takes one down low. Count is 1 ball and no strikes.
Yeah, Tyler's been pretty hot at the plate tonight. He's had 2 singles, a sacrifice fly to bring in a runner. He has got an RBI, and he's been struck out. But so far he's been 7,500 on the night. So.
Pitch bounced to the plate, and he's ahead now 2 balls and no strikes. Wildcats play Campbell County again tomorrow at home at 5:30. As that ball is hit down the third base line, that's going to go for at least 1. Left fielder's playing shallow, but Tyler is still going to make his way to second, and he's in at second base safely. Ball got under the third baseman's glove, and poor kid at third base has really had a rough day.
Yeah, no, that's probably the 3rd or 4th ball that's gone right past him. He's made 2 or 3 errors tonight, so like Coach Branson said, that could be your target. Put it over on the left side of the field.
The ball was hit like a bullet down the line. He just didn't come up with it. And the batter now for the Wildcats will be, looks like Eddie Tan, right-handed hitting senior here. Runner at second, 13-6 the score. Eddie takes a called strike. And the count is no balls and one strike. I don't know what it is about you guys. I warned everybody it was going to be cold. I mean, it's just the way it is. It was 23 degrees this morning when I got up. I mean, and it's not going to be that cold here tonight, but and we're in the mountains too.
Yeah. No, I kind of forgot the sun goes down eventually. It was feeling good earlier today. Afternoon. I thought it was going to stay like that for a while, but when this sun goes down, it gets chilly.
Wildcats, as I mentioned, tomorrow play Campbell County. Then Thursday they play Maryville, and then on Friday they play South Doyle. So it's a very busy week of high school baseball. The two games at the end of the week, actually all of the games the rest of the week are at Bobby Hopkins. Ball hit on the ground. That's going to be a base hit. I don't think he's going to throw him out, and he's not. A delayed response. It was funny because the ball was hit on the ground, and it looked right away that nobody even really moved. The shortstop didn't make an attempt to really, come up on the ball, and Eddie Tan beats it out.
Yeah. No, Eddie's been looking good at the plate tonight. He's had 2 singles and a double. He's also been hit by a pitch, so he's looking good tonight.
And the Wildcats will have Richie Ferreira up. Runners ball was behind him, and all the runners will move up. Tyler Pickens will go down to third. And even the throw down to third, the poor third baseman didn't make the catch, and the Wildcats have runners at second and third with nobody out. That ball, I think, was behind Richie all the way back to the screen.
Yeah, I don't even think he could wear that. I think it was behind him, like you said.
1 ball, no strikes, the count. So the Wildcats have a couple more runners in scoring position. They lead it by a score of 13-6 over Campbell County. Richie Ferreira, he's a sophomore, I believe, and takes a ball, and it's 2 balls and no strikes. Infield is in on the grass here. Nobody out, 2 on. Richie hits the ball to center field. He's going to drop, and he's going to go past the center fielder. He just didn't see it real well. 2 runs will score. Richie's in at second, so it is now, Wildcats played another 2. It's now 15-6. And center fielder just couldn't make the play out there. This is not an extremely well lit field. The lights are actually kind of low, so the ball was hit on a roll on a dime. Center fielder was playing pretty deep center field there and just couldn't get to it.
Yeah, no, kind of the same thing happened. It could have been a miscommunication or the lights, but kind of that same thing happened a couple innings ago with the center fielder.
So 2 more runs score for the Wildcats, and let's see, we're going to have a little bit of a change here. Looks like we're going to have a pitching change, and while we have that pitching change, we'll take a break. We're live here at Campbell County. The Wildcats on top of the Cougars, 15-6. We'll be back to Campbell County in a moment. Welcome back once again to Campbell County High School, where we've seen a lot of offense today. 21 runs total between the two teams. Wildcats on top 15-6, trying to get more. They've got a runner at second in Richie Ferreira, and he takes a huge lead off of second, and the batter is Mikey Teasley.
Yeah, Mikey Teasley, he got hit by a pitch, and then he's been on base. You know, the 3 other times he's been up to bat on 2 errors, and then also he got walked.
Nobody out here. Pitch is up high, and that is ball 3, I think. 3 balls and 1 strike. Wildcats up 15-6. Actually, they're going to change it. I didn't think he had that many pitches. They changed the scoreboard to 1 ball and 1 strike. Teasley, the freshman, double deuce throwing to him. That pitch is a little bit high, and the count is 2 balls and 1 strike. Kind of a big pitcher for them. Burly right-hander here from Campbell County. 2 balls, 1 strike, the count. The pitch. Inside corner. Mikey doesn't think so, but that's what he said. 2 balls and 2 strikes. We are in the top of the 7th inning here at Campbell County. As we mentioned, 15-6. We appreciate you watching. That pitch, that's definitely a ball. And the count is 3 balls and 2 strikes. Appreciate all of you watching wherever you might be on this Monday. Heard the Lady Vols won big today, James.
Yeah, I believe it was 94-47.
Richie's heading towards, there's a base hit for the Wildcats' Mikey Teasley, and that's going to be an RBI single. Wildcats sent the runner, Richie Ferreira, running on the pitch, and he was easily able to score on the single to right field by Mikey Teasley.
Yeah, very similar to what I believe Jacob Franklin did when he was able to plate 2 there in 1 inning by just, finding that gap between the first and second baseman that they were leaving open.
And here's our pitcher, Camden Welch, stepping in. And the pitch to him is the ball. Back up to a 10-run game. 16-6 is the score. But Campbell County will get their final at bat here in the 7th inning. Then we'll have a post-game show of about 2 hours for Sean. I know you're looking forward to that. As the pitch is, just joking, called a strike, and the count is even at 1 ball and 1 strike. They'd probably turn all the lights. We could have some fun. We could go play football down on the field down there.
Yeah, if we can find the light switch. And, Vashon had his best game here, so I know he would enjoy that.
I've got both Price Brothers' phone numbers in my phone so we could call them. They can come and turn on the lights here. 1 ball, 2 strikes, the count. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And the pitch to the plate is up high. And it is 2 balls and 2 strikes. Runner at first, that is Mikey Teasley. The Wildcats in the lead 16-6 over the Campbell County Cougars. New pitcher in the game. We apologize, don't have his name. The ball is hit foul off to the right side. First baseman, and it's the first baseman who makes the catch in foul territory. And Camden Welch is retired for out number 1.
I did see Camden throwing in the bullpen a few moments ago and before he came into bat, so he may be coming back out for the 7th inning, David.
Well, with the Campbell County game tomorrow and Maryville and South Doyle as well this week, it's going to be, you got to save your arms. You got to save your arms, right. Right-handed hitter here. 1 out here, runner at first. 16-6, the Wildcats in the lead. And as Joey and James have said, and I've said as well, if not for some of the poor fielding in the infield, especially on that side of the field, a couple of misplays in center field, this game would be much closer.
Very much closer.
Pitch is a ball. Mikey stays put, and Kyron is ahead in the count, 2 balls and no strikes.
Yeah, he's been at the plate 4 times this game. He might be a little bruised up, been hit by a pitch twice already. And he did have a fly out last inning.
He's a catcher anyway, so he's going to be banged and bruised and all kinds of little things going on with him. Vashon, I think he's ready to jump off the press box here, James.
Yeah, getting a little concerned about him. I think he's just trying to move around to get some heat.
3 balls, 1 strike. 2 balls, 1 strike. I'm sorry. That pitch is ball 3. And Kyron's ahead in the count, 3 balls and 1 strike. 16-6 the score. District game here at Campbell County. Number 22 throws this pitch, and that's ball 4. And the inning continues, ladies and gentlemen. We've got runners at first and second, and the Wildcats trying to get more here. We're getting closer to the top of the order. Jason Slay's the batter. James?
I was looking at who was coming up and was struggling to find that. Jason Slay coming up, senior, started for 3 years. A little bit of a surprise, I think, as a sophomore year, starting at second base. But, I think he's earned that spot over the past 2 years for sure.
Eli Baldwin is the runner now at first base for the Wildcats. He is the courtesy runner in. So the Wildcats have a freshman at second and a senior at first running. And a senior batting in Jason Slay. 1 ball, no strikes the count. 1 out. Runner's not going. Pitches a ball. 2 balls and no strikes. Third pitcher used today by the Campbell County Cougars. Wildcats have used 2. Jacob Franklin, he's the pitcher of record. He'll get the win if the Wildcats can hold on here. They're up 10. Ball's hit on the ground. That's going to go to the shortstop deep in the hole. And I'm going to give him an infield hit. There was no way in the world he was going to throw Jason Slay out on that. So the Wildcats will have the bases loaded here. Ball got under the shortstop's glove, but he had no play on anybody.
He really didn't. And, credit the base running there of Mikey Teasley and Eli Baldwin getting to their bases respectively. And Jason hustling it out down first baseline.
And here comes Caden Black once again. How many at-bats has he had in this game? It seems like every time I turn around, number 11 is batting.
Yeah, so this is actually his 6th at bat today. And he's no stranger to these bases. He's been on 4 times already. So
number 5, because he just got hit by a pitch, and the Wildcats played another run. And okay, do the math here, or count them up. How many Wildcats have been hit in this game?
I believe that's 8.
8. I don't know. I've ever seen that before. As Jacob Franklin steps in. Now it's 17-6 with the Wildcats in the lead.
Joey does confirm it is 8.
Wow, that's crazy. Pitches up high. 1 ball, no strikes to count. The Wildcats still have the bases loaded here. There ought to be a rule if you go up 25 or 10 or 15 or so that it just ends right then and there. As that pitch is down low a ball. And, the umpires, he's kind of had a very liberal strike zone most of the night, but if you prove you cannot throw strikes, they're not going to give you the pitch.
No, they're not. And, it seems like all night long he's kind of favored the sides of the plate, not necessarily the height of the plate there. And so really looking at those outside corners or inside corners, depending upon the batter, and really being gracious there on those.
Bases loaded, 2 balls, no strikes to count. Franklin steps back. One of the funny things I'm enjoying about this game is listening to the mumbling over here by our cameraman, Bashan Knowles here. I don't know what he's saying, but a little mumbling. It's something about let's hurry and get out, or it's too cold, as Jacob takes a strike. Looked a little low. And the count is 3 balls and 1 strike.
What I'm hearing is very encouraging words, encouraging our guys to be clutch and make a nice play. So he is positive about that, David.
3-1 pitch is ball 4.
I sure am positive about that. Good job, guys. Keep doing what you're doing.
And that's a bases loaded walk, and the Wildcats now lead it 18-6 over Campbell County. And I've said this before. I've said this throughout this game. We're going to have a pitching change, I think. This is not a bad Campbell County team, except their fielding has not been good. Their pitching has really not been terrible. Honestly, they just haven't gotten a whole lot of support. Now, this guy's and the other guy that hit about everybody he faced back to back. But for the most part, they've done a pretty decent job, and we're about to have our 4th pitcher. I thought he was going to change, and they've got to play us tomorrow too, so they don't want to waste any more arms.
Yeah, no, you for sure want to wait and save some pitchers, because you always play the team again at home. So it is a smart decision for them to keep this guy in the game.
Who might you expect pitching tomorrow, David? I know we got some young guys coming up, but
I think probably I would guess we'll see Alex pitch tomorrow. Maybe Mikey, because ball is hit foul this way. First baseman looking at it. It's heading towards the dugout, and he can't quite get to it. He was stuck kind of close to the dugout there. Took his eye off of it. We've got really good teams in South Doyle and Maryville at the end of the week, and I'm guessing probably they'll save Mikey perhaps and Tyler Pickens for those games, and we might see Alex. I don't think there's a set 1, 2, 3 because it just depends on who you play. That's another base hit. That's a solid base hit. We're playing station to station baseball now, and just to be, you don't want to.
You don't want to embarrass anybody.
Right. But it is another run, and that is the 19th run of the game, and the bases remain loaded.
I know Coach Free had talked about previously. Sometimes Powell likes to throw their best pitcher second. Sometimes if it's a home matchup or whatever, they like that person pitching at home.
Well, last year, Logan Rosenberger, he was our number one guy, and he always got the first game of the series typically, and it was always at home. I mean, he pitched almost all of his games at Bobby Hopkins Field, and it would be Jacob Franklin who would pitch the road game someplace.
Right. And maybe there's a comfortability with that. Maybe it's you prefer one place over the other, or maybe it truly is a matchup thing. I was just curious if you would happen to know who that would be for tomorrow.
I haven't talked to him about it. We have another pitching change, and the good news is Izzy's going to get to bat. So, Miss Mitchell, stay tuned here. Izzy's going to. I know you're watching. You watch all of our broadcasts. Izzy's mother watches everything. She watches football, basketball, and baseball.
It's nice to have really committed fans and people that follow the Wildcats, alumni or just longtime fans. And, I know they appreciate especially what you do, David, and all the time and effort you put into everything.
Well, thank you, but I wasn't really fishing but I like the fact that these people actually do watch us. I mean, like the other day in the Coalfield game, we had 660 people watch that ball game. I know a lot of them were from Coalfield because, I don't know if they get a lot of streaming of their ball games, and Coalfield's a good baseball team, and it was a really good game. 6-4 was the final score. It was a really good game, but we had 600 people watch a baseball game. We typically get a couple thousand in football and in basketball, a couple thousand usually. But we don't even advertise that we're doing baseball. We don't even have any advertisers. We just do it. One, because I like baseball. Two, I want to get these guys because and I feel bad sometimes that we don't do the other sports like soccer and softball. And I've done softball in the past. Actually, I've done soccer in the past. But there's only one of me, and we only have one station. And baseball is my love, so that's why we do baseball. And it's and I love giving these kids a little bit of publicity too, because they wouldn't get it. It's high school,
Yeah, you don't have as many guys playing as many sports, especially baseball, as you did maybe 10, 15, 20 years ago.
Correct. Izzy Mitchell is the batter. He hits the ball softly in the left field. The left fielder calls for it and drops it. And they might have a force out here at second. If he had gone to second immediately, they would have had an out there, but he was looking at home instead of the close, and Wildcats scored their 20th run of the ball game, and ball was just in shallow. Are you listening to Vashon over here? Shallow left center field, and he just couldn't quite make the play, and the Wildcats still had the bases loaded.
Yeah, Tyler Pickens there having to hustle over from second, waiting to see if that ball was going to be caught by the left fielder coming in quick, and he just dropped it. And, they were unaware of Tyler moving over. Who's this batting? I believe this is going to be this is
Jackson Anderson?
I believe so.
Okay. Is that number 16? I can't see his number. So that is Jackson. He takes a strike, and the count is 1 ball, 1 strike. We have 1 out, bases loaded. Wildcats have scored again. They have 7 runs this inning. Swinging strike. And the count is 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Still only 1 out, too, David.
That's true. 1 ball, 2 strikes to count. Pitch to the plate. Very high.
I know Vashon's wishing there was only no outs.
Every pitch I'm hearing some muttering. I don't know what he's saying over here, but I hear it. It's low. 2 balls, 2 strikes. We're on top of the press box. It's cold. As that pitch is low, it looked good. A little bit low, I guess. And it's full count, and they're in danger of walking the bases loaded here.
David, Campbell County has a little bit different home plate style here than Bobby Hopkins or maybe some of the other teams we play. What do you think we'll see a lot more of that? I know that University of Tennessee has a more of a turf plate.
Dobbins Bennett does too. That's the way Dobbins Bennett's. All of Dobbins Bennett's infield is that way. Even the dirt area is just colored like the home plate area, brown. They used to have crushed brick here on the field here at Campbell County. By the way, Jackson's struck out looking on a pitch that was out of the strike zone, but I think the umpire's starting to get a little cold too. But yeah, I think so because I mean, you don't have to do as much maintenance. We've got Joe Mason, who's 85 years old, who does a lot of maintenance along with some of the dads and some of the coaches, and you know, it's not as much maintenance if you have the turf like that.
Yeah, I talking about Dobbins Bennett. I actually played out there. I believe it was sophomore year. It was super nice. I mean, probably one of my favorite fields to play on. I do like the turf.
Yeah, and their whole infield is that way.
Also, another minor league team there played at Dobbins Bennett High School.
Right, ball is hit foul. Let's make sure we got the right people hitting. Who is number one? That is Alex Franklin batting for the Wildcats. And my apologies, Franklin family. Oh, I see. Yeah. It is Alex Franklin batting. He could be our pitcher tomorrow. We'll find out in our 2-hour post-game show. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Ball bounces away just a little bit. Bases are loaded, full of Wildcats. 7 runs in here in the 7th. Been a very productive 7th inning. Only if we had gotten those outs in the previous 2 innings, we would probably be already back in Oak Ridge. That's bounced up there, and that is ball 4, and that is an RBI for Alex Franklin. And in to score comes his brother, Jacob Franklin.
and Vashon was not as encouraging on that walk there as he had been previously.
No, I didn't. No, I'm talking about the pitcher, bro.
He's criticizing the pitcher. Yeah, we want our guys to do well, and obviously we've got a lot of them doing well, especially this inning. It's 21-6 now. Wildcats have the bases loaded. I guess that's Camden batting once again. Tyler Pickens is the runner at third. Izzy Mitchell is down at second. Let's get some close-ups on Izzy. We don't get to see Izzy on the base paths very often. Camden, there's Izzy, taking his lead off of the bag. Now, where was that pitch? I mean, that looked like a strike, and that would have ended the inning right there. But it's 1 ball and 2 strikes.
I'm not really sure on that one, David.
And that's a ball, and the count is 2 balls and 2 strikes. We're live here at Campbell County High School. We are on top of the football press box. Beautiful Jacksboro La Follette. And it's freezing cold. That ball's ripped deep right field, over the right fielder's head, all the way back to the fence. 1 run scores, 2 runs scores. Izzy is in with the 23rd run, and that is a booming double by Camden Welch, and the Wildcats lead at 23-6.
Really nice hit there by Camden. A piece of hitting, able to pull it down the right field line there as he is a left-handed hitter and knocks it all the way to the warning track and drives in 2 more runs. And, it's got to be a real confidence booster for him.
That ball was smoked.
Yeah, no, he was sprinting back there, that right fielder, and it still went over his head. I don't think he was expecting that because he was playing pretty close in.
Let's see who this is batting for the Wildcats, and he takes the strike.
Eli Baldwin.
Looks like Eli Baldwin. Is that number 19?
Yes,
it
sir.
It is Eli Baldwin. Runners at second and third, 23-6 Oak Ridge. The Wildcats have put 10 runs on the board here. Swings and he foul tips it. And the count is no balls and 2 strikes. You know it's bad when the scoreboard doesn't. We've scored 10 runs this inning.
It's a single-digit scoreboard per inning.
Right. That pitch almost hit Eli. And the count is 1 ball and 2 strikes. 23-6 Wildcats over Campbell County, first district game. I feel pretty comfortable we're going to win our 4th game of the season.
I feel the same way. Even if it wouldn't be the end of the game, we would still have the 10-run rule, I think, at this point, David.
I just hope that Campbell County doesn't mount the greatest comeback in the history of high school baseball in the bottom of the inning. 23-6 the score. The pitch is hit on the ground, third base side. And this always is an adventure. Ball one is going to be out for the third out of the inning. We go to the bottom half of the seventh inning. The Wildcats put 10 on the board, and it's 23-6. And we'll be back in a moment. Oh, it's his name is Earl something. I have a roster in there someplace. Welcome back once again to Bobby Hopkins. No, we're not at Bobby Hopkins. We're at Campbell County High School. 23-6, the Wildcats in the lead. Trying to win their first district ball game. Cam Welch trying to close things out, get this win for Jacob Franklin. Pitch is a called strike, I think. Let's see. I don't think, let's see, don't have any changes. Maybe on your phone there, maybe, as the pitch is a ball. And it's 2 balls and no strikes. I think we got a new shortstop, guys, looking down there. We do. It's a long ways away as that ball is hit our way and over the top of the dugout once again and over the top of the press box area here. And the count is 2-1. Brooke Earls. Brooke Earls, yes, that's what I thought. I thought it was Brooks Earls. Earl or Earls? I'm sorry.
They both have S's.
Brooks
you,
Earls,
Sean.
David.
Thank you. My apologies. I mean, this is my first look at him, actually.
Vashon, do you happen to know what year he is?
He is a junior, so Vashon knows him. So thank you, Vashon. I knew Vashon was good for something here tonight. Actually, Vashon was he called me. I was walking to the car to come get you guys, and Vashon said, "Hey, have you left yet?" And I said, "No, I'm just walking to the car." He said, "Well, I can go." So he's up here, and he's complained the whole time, but that's okay. We got a runner at first. The pitch, and that's a ball. 23-6 the score. That is the score.
We also have a new right fielder. I'm trying to figure out the name of our new right fielder over here as well, David.
That's not Riley. It doesn't look like Riley. I can't really tell from here. I mean, I apologize for that. We're a long ways. We got a camera that zooms in. Let's zoom in on him and see our new right fielder. And let's see if it goes into focus there. That is Jacob Franklin. That's not hard. I think that is number 7, is it not?
Yeah.
So he's not new. But he
New in the inning.
most definitely. So let's see. The center fielder still Richie. Izzy's still in left. Mikey's at third. Brooks is at short, and Jason Slay looks like a catcher. Cut on a miss on that pitch. Still is Kyron, I guess. 2 balls, 2 strikes. We're in the bottom of the 7th inning, 23-6. Oak Ridge in the lead. Big lead at first. And here comes the pitch. Called strike 3, and that is out number 1. Here, pretty pitch that time by Camden Welch.
Yeah, I believe the Campbell County fans were not very enthusiastic about that pitch, but I think everybody might just want to rush on out of here, David.
Yeah, but we're kind of scattered around here, too. It's going to take us a little while to pack up. Plus, we have the post-game interviews. Cut on a missed. And what has this guy done, if it's the same guy?
Yeah, this is Riley Goins. He was pitching for him the first couple innings until that switch, and he has struck out twice, but he has gotten a single and an RBI.
Right-handed batter, the pitch. There's another called strike. The count is no balls and 2 strikes. Joey, go ahead, James.
Well, I was going to say a lot better pitching here in the second inning for Camden Welch.
I think anything close is going to be called a strike. I can tell you this. We scored 10 runs the last inning. There's a swinging strikeout. So we're down to the final out here. And I've said that. The third inning, I've said that actually. But it's a good win for the Wildcats as the music fires up for the first time tonight here. 2 outs, runner first, 23-6 to score. Vashon is continuing his commentary to my left here. He says it ain't over until it's over. That's like kind of what Yogi Berra said, I think. Pretty something close to that.
Yeah, I really haven't seen Yogi Bear, but I'm gonna trust you on that one.
Yeah, you're a little bit young. I didn't see him play, obviously. Pitch is a little bit outside. 1 ball, no strikes. I'm just glad they left. Honestly, thank you to Matt Price and Justin Price for leaving the press box open for us to come. We're on top of it, but we had to get access to. We had to come through an unlocked door there, so we appreciate that. There's a called strike, and the count is 2 balls and 1 strike. I don't know if you've had a lot of dealings with them, James, but the Price twins are really class acts.
Every interaction I've had, whether football or other related, they've helped us help open the field and things like that for track when I was at Robertsville as well. They've always been very gracious about helping out whoever needs anything.
2 balls and 2 strikes. That's a swinging strike, and we might get down to our final pitch of the night here. 2 outs, 23-6 Wildcats here. Camden Welch checks the runner, comes to the plate, low and inside, full count. 3 balls and 2 strikes. I didn't expect to be here this long, honestly. I thought we'd be long gone. But Campbell County kept putting up a fight, and we continue to score lots of runs. If you see a game where there's 29 runs scored, it's going to take a while. And there's your ball game right there. That's a strikeout. Camden Welch strikes him out for the 3rd out, and the Wildcats win it by a final score of 23-6. Joey Weston, your comments on the win today?
Yeah, no, the guys played great tonight. Camden Welch came in clutch with 3 strikeouts in that last inning there to end the ball game off. Jacob Franklin played great on the mound tonight. I know I saw at least 8 or 9 strikeouts from him. Very offensive game. A good win tonight by the boys.
If you have the chance, why don't you run down and talk about the scoring that you have seen in the game?
All right. So tonight, Caden Black, he ended off with 2 RBIs. He had 4 stolen bases. Jacob Franklin, he was hot tonight with 4 RBIs. Tyler Pickens with 3 RBIs. Eddie Tan had 1, and Izzy Mitchell also had 1. Coming in for 1 at-bat, he did have an RBI. He got that down, got it below center field. Richie Ferreira, he was also hot at the plate tonight with 4 RBIs. He had a really nice double that brought in 2 runs. Mike Teasley, 2 RBIs for him tonight with a single walk, and he also got hit by a pitch. We saw a lot of that tonight. As we said, there were 8 batters hit by a pitch tonight. We also had Cam Welch with 3 RBIs. He was on the mound tonight. Also, he had 4 strikeouts, so that is a good night for him. He was hit by a pitch twice, walked once. And yeah, and Jason Slay ended with he had 1 RBI. He was on base a lot tonight. He scored 4 times, so he was no stranger to that home plate. He was hit by a pitch, and he also had 3 singles.
That didn't go well.
Thanks a lot there, Joey. We're trying to figure out how to do the post-game interviews, but the gravity is something that we learned in school a long time ago. We're lowering our mic cable and mic, and I think as it was going down, it got a little heavy, and the mic came off the cord and went crashing into, hopefully not a human.
Not a human. Nobody was hurt. No need to call PETA or anything like that. No cougars were hurt.
Hopefully we'll have a post-game. I think Vashon maybe will go down there to work on that. So the Wildcats win at 23-6. We'll be back with our post-game, a short one, I can assure you. We'll be back in a moment.
It's kind of bent. Hello. Does it work? It works.
In a moment, we're hoping to speak to the head coach of the Wildcats, Coach Travis Free. Hopefully, Vashon can kind of corral him over so we can interview him. It's an awkward interview because we're still on the press box and they're going to be down below. And hopefully, we'll get a chance to talk to him. I don't see him currently. There he is, right in front of the dugout there. We'll get a chance to speak to him. Wildcats win at 23-6. And in a moment, we'll be speaking to him. You see where the mic is there, Joey. We'll try to aim it to that. It's on the bleachers there. So, moving it over there. We're way above the top. I just hope, James, you might have to relay the questions to him if he can't hear it, because they're turning on some kind of a vehicle to scrape the field. And we'll get Coach Free here, head coach of the Wildcats. Very eventful when the microphone went crashing down to the ground here. So we've got Coach Travis Free, head coach of the Wildcats. Yeah, grab the microphone there. So, Coach, tell me about the win today over Campbell County.
Now can you hear me?
Yeah.
Sorry. Well, we should have been out here about an hour and a half ago. We had a 10-run lead in the fifth, 10-run lead in the sixth, and a 14-run lead or 16-run lead in the seventh. So, all in all, we had a chance to close it out. But we, those are things we're still trying to fill through here early in the season for sure.
You got a lot of timely hitting. You got some help. You had 8 different batters, I think, that were hit by a pitch, and about all of them came in to score. So you took advantage of all your opportunities.
Yeah, offensively, we did a good job. Keep adding on runs, adding on runs, adding on runs. As soon as they put us on, we started putting balls in play, starting to execute, doing the right things to kind of keep scoring, winning baseball. But we still defensively, and one pitch, like I was just telling them, one pitch in a 2-1 game makes a big difference. One play in a 2-1 game makes a big difference. But right now, we've really been better than our opponents at this point. So maybe that's a good thing. Maybe I'm not sure. Or maybe we just haven't played anybody that's going to push us enough. But hopefully soon we'll face somebody that really is going to push us pretty hard.
Coach, I didn't hear if you said anything about your pitching, but I thought Jacob and Cameron both pitched pretty well today.
Yeah, Jacob, once again, another good outing for him. I tried to get that pitch count up to the 85 mark today. We hit that number pretty good. Then put a freshman in there, Cam, to get him his first work of the year. He struggled finding the zone some, but, once again, I think he struck out 5 of the 6 batters that he got out. So his stuff is electric. His stuff's going to be great. He's going to be a great pitcher for us someday, or this year even, but we just got to continue to work and get him stronger and stronger and more confidence in his pitches. But all in all, pitching was great today.
One final thing here. One of the other things, you got a chance to play a lot of people too.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I played about 16 to 17 people today, which is a huge number, which is great for us that we got to play that many guys in the game today.
Coach, I'll let you go. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
That sounds great. Once again, Campbell County again at our place tomorrow night, but thank you guys.
And the Wildcats will play Campbell County tomorrow. That game will be at Bobby Hopkins Field. That'll be a 5:30 first pitch. That about does it here from Campbell County High School. We appreciate you watching our broadcast here from Cougarville. Got a shot of the city here. It's a beautiful shot, and this is how high up we are watching this ball game. Beautiful night here. We appreciate James Branson, Vashawn Knowles, and Joey Weston for joining us here. Final score of the ball game, Oak Ridge wins it 23-6. Until the next time, this is David Clary saying so long, everybody.